SDPP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
All right, and I think we can only start this show one way, which is Maddie. What a great pick.
Yeah.
Maddie called the Ducks in 6, by the way. Ducks in 6. It's the Mad Dog, the only one at SDPN who had the guts to go Duck. And good for you, Maddie. Good for you. She's feeling so good about that. Like, so good about that.
I'm changing my name. So you call me Mad Dog.
Uh-huh.
It's Mad Duck.
Mad Duck.
Mad Duck.
Jesse, if you can find the Spark Trivia bracket, I'd love to
show?
see.
Yeah.
She just wants to show it off.
Please.
Give me a moment. I gotta find
Taking control of the show.
Traffic.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride this high, baby.
Maddie,
Man.
No one in the history of this show has done this. We've never had somebody else come in and go, you know what? This is what we're doing.
Yeah. Usually, I got made fun of and called stupid for it. But Maddie comes in first try.
You know what? With a pick like that, we got to give it to her.
Ducks in 6 is crazy.
It is. It is. I think you did guess Ducks in 6.
No, Maddie, you're doing it wrong.
Sorry.
Of course I guessed in 6.
And then if you didn't, you go, I meant to.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to do.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Jesse's pulling it up. So listen, we're going to start Dallas, Minnesota, because we're going sequential.
No, skip it.
There you
Skip
go.
over it
Here
entirely.
we go. Wait 1 second. Sorry. Oh,
Ducks
wow.
in 6, Mad Dog.
Unbelievable.
Well done. You might be one of the only people in the world. If anybody was picking Ducks, a lot of people would have said 7.
Yeah.
Here, I can tell you. I'll ask and I'll get the number for you.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, how many
Maddie
people.
And a sea of wrong men. Just
Yeah.
Maddie, bow down to your Mad Duck overlord. Like
Yeah.
she's the king now.
Ducks truther.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ducks.
I would
Truther.
love one of those. Remember they had those giveaways that were like the duck hats at the first game? And we
Yeah.
were like, man, these are awesome.
Yeah.
And they have
Oh, yeah.
tailgates and stuff. Like they're doing it right.
Oh, yeah. They have a fun time.
Yeah.
It's just that, listen, again, we're going to get to them later in the show because we do want to start with Dallas, Minnesota, which I think unquestionably, in terms of first round matchups, was the hardest and is.
Oh, it's dumb.
And I think a lot of people are surprised today that the Minnesota Wild are through. Not because that they were a bad team, but because of the first round that Dallas had against Colorado last year, right?
Yes. So I had whoever wins this series losing to Colorado so that my bracket had the slightest chance of advancing.
I got it here.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, because you either pick Dallas to go deep and you're screwed, or you pick Minnesota to go deep and you might be screwed anyway.
100%. Now, Jesse, what do you got?
So I got the handy dandy spreadsheet that says the numbers of people who picked each winner in round number 1.
Yeah.
The Ducks were the second least picked team. The least picked team was the LA Kings.
Yeah.
Only 1.6% of people picked the LA Kings to win in round number 1.
Surprise is that high, to be honest.
9.4% of entrants picked the Ducks to win.
Well done to the 9%.
That is 603 people.
And
The underdog,
Maddie
baby.
is one of them. Yeah, the
Maddie.
underducks.
So out of
done.
around over 6,000 brackets, 603 people
Wow.
picked
Wow.
the Ducks.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's just awesome.
Makes me feel less dumb.
So when it comes to the Dallas Stars here, I think we ought to state some facts. Do we like the facts?
Well, you should know them.
We should know the facts.
Should know the facts.
The Dallas Stars, this is Sam. Sam at the Block Spot is an ESPN camera guy. Dallas Stars were the second best team in the Western Conference this season. In the first
That's
round,
insane.
they should have played the second best team in the West, the 92-point Ducks. Instead, they played the third best team in the West, the 104-point Wild, and the Stars are now eliminated. Now, as a Leaf fan who complained about this and got zero support from any of you, I agree with Sam. That's dumb and stupid, and why do they do that? But next time the Leafs are going through it, you guys could maybe support us a little bit. Because I didn't hear any support from Dallas. I'm going to give Dallas the support. I agree. Minnesota fans, you guys shouldn't have panicked as much as you did in some of the games in this series. You should have got through faster. It's not fair that you had to play.
Yeah, way to go, bums.
Well, it should have been
6
against
games?
should have been against somebody else, right? But The fact of the matter is, the playoff system is what it is, and I'm not going to do to you what everybody did to us, which is, get over you bunch of losers. Win the conference, man.
Stars third best team in the league.
Yeah. Here are the conference standings in the West in what would have been the normal playoff matchups. Colorado, LA, Anaheim, Dallas, Mammoth, Wild, Vegas, Edmonton.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that.
Third best team in the league versus seventh best team in the league. And like I'm pretty sure that's not even the most egregious matchup we've had in recent memory. Probably involved the Leafs. Probably did. Leafs in Tampa, Leafs in Boston.
Yep.
Just getting boned every year. But this is the system. And like Minnesota.
Can we just say the system sucks?
The system stinks butt.
Yeah,
but
and I'm happy for Minnesota, but like this
Minnesota prepared for the system though. They looked at this and they went, well, we're going to finish second or third, probably third. Let's just gain an army. You know, we criticize them a little bit for not really sure about up the middle, but they went out and acquired everyone else.
Yep.
Dallas went out and got like Michael Bunting and then didn't play him. And Tyler Myers and didn't play him because he wasn't very good.
Well, because he isn't that great anymore, right?
Well, he's kind of...
he's up there in age. He was playing in the last Buffalo Sabres playoff series before this year, right?
He was drafted, 2008?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like who else they went out and got at the deadline. I know you went out and you got Rantanen last year.
Didn't they have to attach a pick to Dumba's contract to get rid of it or something like that?
I don't remember.
You know, like, and you know, the thing is that beyond, their two best defensemen, I think that they were exposed a little bit in this series. Jesse, like...
Injuries killed them.
Injuries definitely killed them. But Jesse, the thing with Dallas, this playoff, that was so interesting is that they didn't do anything unless they were on the power play.
Yes, they really struggled at 5-on-5. They had 4 total 5-on-5 goals, which I believe equals the same total that the Sens scored. And the Sens played 4 games and were terrible. I think the Sens were either 3 or 4, so they're right in line.
Right in line.
But it's the Dallas Stars. We shouldn't be having comparisons with the swept Senators of the Dallas Stars. That is shocking. And what it came down to is that there was no depth scoring on their team at all. Maverick Bourque in last night's game scored the first goal that wasn't scored outside of their top 5 scorers. So up until Maverick Bourque's goal, they only got goals from Robertson, Johnston, Duchesne, Heiskanen, and Rantanen. Nobody else out of those players scored a single goal in the series until Maverick Bourque scored.
Jason Robertson had 5, right?
Yeah.
Who was second and third?
Wyatt Johnston had 4, Duchesne had 2, Heiskanen had 2.
Damn. You get 9 goals out of a duo of guys in a 6-game series. You should be able to make some noise.
Nobody else on their team did anything.
Damn.
And that's a huge issue, depth scoring. Like, whether you want to say if Rupe Hintz is in there, things are different. Like,
which I mean, undoubtedly they are.
It is a reality.
Yeah.
But injuries happen to everybody. You still play the games. They are continuing and they're not going to stop until Rupe Hintz is healthy. That's just reality of your team. You have to go in there and you came up against one of the best teams in the league and they took care of business.
Now, this is the conversation that happens every time. Is it on them or is it on the Minnesota Wild being really good?
Well, I do want to stop there for just a sec because I think you're right to bring that up. I look at the Boston or the Dallas forward group going into this season. Pretty sure we said in the season preview this is the best forward group in the whole league.
Insane depth.
And it's crazy that they couldn't get depth scoring. How much of that would you guys say is attributed to them just maybe going cold, not having Rupe is a big deal. Yep. Like that's your number one center. Yeah. Sorry, it is.
That's where the conversation has to start.
Yes.
But you can go deeper than that.
But you have the deepest forward group in the league.
Yeah.
You should be able to manage that.
They do, like Colin Blackwell, that would be depth scoring. He had an unbelievable chance in that game, robbed by Wallstedt. Like just that kid's so good. And I feel so vindicated, like for all the Olympic conversation with like Philip Gustafsson and Jesper Wallstedt. I'm like, Gustafsson's not even the best goalie on the Wild.
I know.
He's good.
They were talking about trading him at the deadline. And the stats for him, by the way, let me
you
pull
could
this
have
up.
been justified.
You could, well, because they were looking for that number one center, right? So here's what his stats were throughout the Wallstat. The Wall of St. Paul. This is from Jack Jablonski. 6 games, 171 saves on 185 shots. That's a 924 save percentage. 363 goals saved above expected. 5-on-5, he made 131 of 135 saves, potential saves. That's 970 at 5-on-5.
Come on.
7.92 goals save above expectations. 920 save percentage in high definition scoring chances. That is he's a rookie. He's a rookie.
I think Minnesota beat Dallas the way they had to. So Minnesota's a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
I give their D-core the advantage. Net, I would say, is close to a wash.
Mm-hmm.
It's competitive. Up front, I give it to Dallas.
Yep.
Boldy's just a killer. Such a killer. Kaprizov is obviously a killer, but I would still give it to Dallas. Dallas was a little shorthanded because of the injuries, and then Minnesota did what you could have forecasted Minnesota was going to do heading into the series. They beat the shit out of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the brakes off of that team.
And not just Trennan.
When Blackwell took him out, and then Dallas won, I think, the next 2 games, I was like, oh man, that one hit just flipped this series on its head. And Minnesota got it back on the rails, and they hammered these guys.
Everybody made fun of the 2nd round pick they gave up for Michael McCarron, and made fun of me for doing a 15-minute video about it. Because they're like, how are you doing 15 minutes on Michael McCarron? But I'm like, this is more than you think. And he scored in the series, and he was a monster alongside Trennan. I mean, you imagine. So Tarasenko, who scored last night, is playing with Jesse, Trennan, and McCarron. Yeah, he's gonna have some room.
That like if Dallas struggled with the depth scoring, that's all Minnesota got. Like it was 4 lines you could just roll out there. And the Foligno's lines with the 2 of them on there, that they spent so much time playing in the first period. I started to get shocked. I was like, there's so much time for this 4th line, and hey, win and you get to the 2nd round, you're trusting your 4th line so much, but they have so much depth that they can do that. It's really good.
But it's strategic, right? Like it's first period, second period, third period. Well, first period, you soften up the meat, right? So they're just sending them out there trying to beat
Paul Maurice, pound their D.
Pound their D and soften up their meat.
Oh my God.
Just soften up the meat and pound their D. Yeah, this is what happens when the Leafs aren't in the
playoffs. Put some pressure on that D.
Yes, pressure on the D.
Back to Dallas just for a second.
The big D.
The big D. Well done.
Talk about the big D.
That's good.
Jesse.
One thing I know Jim Nill is going to have 42 Jim Gregory awards.
Yes.
And he's won like 3 in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will...
He's done a great job in the big D.
I will criticize Jim Nill for always tinkering with that right side and never figuring it out. Last year, they tried to go with Cody Ceci. That was...
Wow.
Why is that your choice?
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, and then eventually the Kings were like, hey, here's $20 million every year. And then this year they're going like, Labushkin is there. And I'm like, okay, you got to figure this out. And I'm like, who was there before when they were so good? And I think they've never recovered from trading Chris Tanev.
I think you're right.
Man.
He was a big part of that run.
Imagine
right?
a healthy Chris Tanev is on that right side behind Heiskanen there.
Yeah.
Like that, I think they've been tinkering that the last couple of years, and they've never kind of really solved that position.
I wonder if they get further last year with Tanev too, because Tanev was great last year for the Leafs. Last season, he was outstanding.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So
and sorry, I say like they're doing Labushkin there. It's Tyler Myers and Labushkin,
and that's just not good enough. Let's just call it what it is.
That's your.
We've had Labushkin in Toronto a couple times. There's some good aspects. There's some bad aspects.
Yeah.
Right. And especially, what is he? 375. It's an expensive contract.
Yeah. And then you send out assets to get Tyler Myers, and like that's not helpful.
I mean, just going up against what Minnesota's capable of.
You're going to lose anytime you're in a breakout battle with Minnesota's D, like you're going to lose it on your end when you're trying to break out with these guys you have. Like you have Heiskanen, and you have Harley, obviously. Your top is good, but the rest, your bottom and your pairing, your D. It's something more to desire there.
I can't think of a cushier job in the league than being a Minnesota defenseman not named Faber or Hughes.
Yeah.
Imagine you survive. Like you survive that shit. And then you hop over the board, fresh as a daisy. Morning. I feel like Want to score a goal? Let's go out there and score a goal.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Quinn and Brock are playing half an hour a night. I think,
Why
we'll
not?
do it.
I
This is
want
the easiest like Brodean's life has ever been.
I want to give you a trade that will live in infamy. Okay. This is a Ken Holland special. He traded down 2 spots in the 2021 draft. He got a 3rd round pick out of it, so a 90th overall pick.
Okay.
And he got a 22nd overall pick out of it. So he went from 20 to 22nd. And
for 2 spots, that's an okay price.
that's not bad. He got Xavier Bourgault, who is now with Ottawa, and put up 56 points in 70 games in the AHL this season. So he might be a pretty good player. Like he could be a depth guy that steps in next season. He played a couple of games with the big club.
Right.
Luka Munzenberger was the 3rd round pick. I don't know much about Luka.
No.
But maybe we will one day. The guy that was drafted 20th overall, that pick went to the Wild, Jesper Wallstedt.
Wow.
Oy vey.
That would have been the Oilers' goaltending right there. They would have been solved. They would have been fine. And I think it's funny, I understand the theory of moving down to get more picks if you need to, but you don't always need to do that.
There's going to be more of that in today's show. Edmonton fans, I apologize. Today's going to be a painful show for you.
Yeah.
Who had the pick before Jackson Lacombe?
Oh, Edmonton did.
Ed Money.
And it was that was in the 3rd round, I think.
I don't remember.
2nd or 3rd round.
Second or third.
Yeah, like everybody passed on Jackson Lacombe a couple of times at least, which is crazy. So that's an 2nd round. So he was in 2019. This is how long some defensemen take. And I think that's something that everybody ought to keep in mind, especially when you got young defensemen coming up in your system. It took Jackson Lacombe this long. He is 25 now to be this dominant. So 2019 draft, he's drafted 39th overall. Okay. Right before him, the Edmonton Oilers selected Raphael Lavoie, who has played 17 games and has 0 points and plays for Vegas. And he's played 17 games. So before the Raphael Lavoie pick, so 2 up on Lacombe, it's Ottawa, and they picked Mads Søgaard. So, you've got, and then Vancouver selected Nils Hoglander just after. Kachekov was 3 spots up on him. Bobby Brink 5 spots up. Shane Pinto was at the top of the 2nd round. So there's some names. Names.
Sure.
But Lacombe, baby. Again, we're going back to Dallas, but I'm just saying.
With Dallas, I can't figure out what I think. Because on one hand, they're going to be fine. They're fine. They're not like a particularly old team. They're a little bit of an injury-prone team, so that is somewhat concerning. Like some of their best players do kind of get hurt a lot. You got this killer in Jason Robertson. You have options with him. You could keep him. You could trade him. You can get a king's ransom for him. You have this killer in Wyatt Johnston. You have this killer in Mikko Rantanen, who maybe let you down a little bit here, but like there's proof of
Dumbest
concept.
penalty of all time last night.
Yeah, is bad. Is bad. But like you saw him also win a series on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, 1-1. You know what I mean? Yeah. But on the other hand, you finished 3rd in the NHL and didn't make it past the 1st round. Like that has got to eat at you. You've got to hate that. And we're going to learn a lot about Jim Nill this summer because the Dallas Stars, I think, are primed for a trip to Overreactionville.
Not.
I hope not too, because I really like the way they've been run for a long time. Again, they're 3rd in the NHL. You got probably the most unlucky matchup in the 1st round. Mm-hmm. You run into Minnesota. That friggin' sucks. You're 3rd in the NHL. You don't deserve that. But again, Minnesota prepared for this.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And you had some bad luck. But sometimes you get the luck you deserve.
But I look at the conversation we're having, and I hope Jim Nill kind of takes a step back and realizes like the parts we're picking out are depth scoring, which is your bottom 6, which is to fix, and your 6th defenseman. It's the margins for Dallas. And maybe they move something to fix those margins, but I think they have the top stuff. It's just the rest of it and filling in the blanks.
Yep.
So here's sort of what I look at, right? And maybe the Leafs should have prepared this way when they were, every year, they ran into Tampa. Oh, they ran into Tampa again. Oh, they ran into Boston. Prepare for your division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I look at their roster and I look at it compared to the rest of the league. Yeah, just zhuzh this position up a little bit. Zhuzh it. No. Every year, you're looking at heading into a playoff series with like Makar Taves or Faber Hughes. Mm-hmm. And you're responding with...
Well, it's Harley Heiskanen.
Okay. And
which is great. Well, then Lindell, Labushkin, Bichelle, Petrovic. Bit of a fall off.
Boy, oh boy.
Myers.
And Myers.
Options to put in there. Yeah. But yeah, it is. And you're so right in that, like, they have 12 months to know that your round one matchup every year is going to be a conference final matchup. Yeah. That's because of the shitty system we have. Every year you have to play your conference final matchup first.
Unless you win the division. You're very likely getting Colorado or Minnesota. Yeah. Every friggin' year. Yeah.
That's the 3 seed in the conference.
You have to prepare for that matchup. That the Leafs didn't prepare for. Well, actually, they had Tampa's number really well by the end of it, but that was exhausting. But Boston, you didn't prepare for the matchup you knew you were going to have. Minnesota did. We have a chance if we beat the shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
So that's what they did.
And the Minnesota side of it, it's all Quinnesota last night. Like, he was the star of the game. And Brock Faber at the end of it actually had more minutes than him. Played 29 minutes and Quinn Hughes played 28. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
2 periods.
Slacker.
Quinn Hughes was up to 19 minutes. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Bum can't even outplay your pairing there. But it was like he scores that goal and then he scores the game winner. And you're like, the trade is worth it.
Oh,
the history of time, that trade is 100% worth it because Minnesota fans at home got a 2-goal Quinn Hughes performance where it pushes them to the second round. And last night was actually the anniversary of their last second round visit. So on April 30th, 2015, they beat the Blues to advance to the second round.
Wow, it's been that long.
That was the last time they did it, 11 years ago.
Now, let me on the Quinnesota train, I want to ask you guys if you know this stat, okay? Ooh. So Quinn Hughes, this is from our guy, Ardar Orcal, who's a Canadian doing a whole bunch of ESPN stuff, which is cool. Does Sports Center. How neat is that? He said Quinn Hughes has already tied the Minnesota franchise record for most points by a defenseman in a single postseason.
What?
So I said that last night, but I said, he's broke the record for most points in a series.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, wait, it says in a whole playoff.
For context, the Wild have been to the conference final.
Yeah.
Once,
but like...
And
that's not the record?
So who was the guy that held the record?
Okay, I'm gonna try to go back to
So when was
the Wild defenseman in 2003?
That's when they went to the conference final. So it is that team.
Like what the hell was Marek Zidlicki?
Good pick, but not Merit Zidlicki. Name another Wild defenseman from the 2003 team. Grade 10, Steve.
I want to say, is it Marc-Andre Bergeron?
Was a player on that team, but no. I loved Marc-Andre Bergeron, by the way.
Those are good recall. That's great.
Marc-Andre Bergeron had the best skating stats in NHL like 2004.
Keith Carney was on the Ducks at the time. I don't know. No, screw that. I want this.
One more guess.
This is the Hockey Hall of guy when it comes to the Minnesota Wild.
Damn, Zidlicki's that though.
Yeah, but Zidlicki was really good defenseman.
He was.
This guy is just Hockey Hall of guy, I think.
I give up.
You sure?
No.
You don't want to take one more stab at it?
I'm trying. It's so much harder on the spot. Wild. I'm trying to picture guys in those weird jerseys. I can't do it.
Philip Kuba.
Son of a gun, that is Hockey Hall of guy.
Yeah, isn't it?
That's a great guy.
18 games.
I'd buy you a beer if you said that at the bar. I'd be like, Philip Kuba? Come on. Philip Kuba. That's great.
18 games, 8 points.
The record's 8 points?
The record's 8 points. Quinn got 8 points. He has 2 goals, 6 assists.
It's crazy.
It's shocking, but when you go back and you look at the Minnesota Wild's playoff history, it's actually a little pathetic.
Oh, it's sad.
Something
it's really
we don't really talk about because that conference final run in 2003, that's their third year in the league. They do that. Since then, they don't have a single victory in the second round. because the other time they made the second round was in 2015 that I just referenced. They got swept by the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
So one win here in this second round will be their first win in the second round since 2003. That's a little sad, and now I'm very happy for this franchise because they're doing stuff.
Can I tell you why the record for points in a postseason by a Wild defenseman is 8, even though they went to the Western Conference Final? Allow me to read out the scores
Go ahead.
from the 4-game series they played against the Ducks in 2003. So first of all, it was a 4-game series. Game 1, 1-0
Okay.
for the Ducks. Game 2, 2-0 for the Ducks. Game 3, 4-0 for the Ducks. 3 straight shutouts.
That's crazy. Man, did that actually happen?
J.S. Giguère. That's why he won the Conn Smythe, even though they lost.
Whoa.
He was unbeatable. It's the most dominant I think I've ever seen a goalie in one single postseason. Maybe Tim Thomas.
Wow.
Game 4, Ducks 2, Wild 1. They did manage to score 1 goal. And I remember watching Game 4 because the buzz in the hockey world at the time was they might not score a goal in an entire playoff series.
That'd be like
and it's the Western Conference Final.
We'd have to keep a name for that. Like that's not a sweep. That's like a clean sweep. Like you shut someone out for
First
straight games.
clean sweep ever. Ever.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that if that ever happens.
J.S. Giguère was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. I remember
Completely
talking
bonkers.
as an aside, I remember talking to Steve Thomas at the at one of your at the Eastern Seals tournament.
That was 2018.
And we chatted with him about being on that Ducks team. And Babcock was the up and coming new coach guy. And I said, what was he like to play for? Because he had just been fired. And he said, actually, he was pretty good to me because he's like, he knew I was an old guy.
Yeah.
And he said he'd just come up to me and be like, you good to go tonight? And then Steve would be like, yeah. And be like, okay, let me know if you're not. And then he'd just throw him in. And so he was good to Thomas.
Here, a Hockey Reference actually has Giguère's stats from that series. So he was 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped 122 of 123 shots. Save percentage of .992.
Wow. Wow.
992.
That's so
Holy
silly.
damn, that's crazy.
992.
So
and Manny Fernandez, sorry,
no, do it.
was great in that series for the Wild. 943. Far and away, second place.
Yeah.
He deserved
Far
that.
and away.
He deserved that Conn Smythe.
Yeah, he won a series by essentially not allowing a goal, and it was for a conference championship.
Yeah. Unreal.
That's so insane.
That's it. It's so interesting. Imagine I had pitched to you. My big pitch is, guys, a team with Ryan Hartman at 1C is going to beat Dallas.
Well, what if he beats the shit out of everyone?
Is that what he did? Did you see that yesterday, Jesse? Was Ryan Hartman just flying punching guy?
Yeah.
Rock'em sock'em robots here.
Why'd they acquire Michael McCarron? Well,
He's not big for
what
nothing.
if he just beat the shit out of everyone?
Yeah, and scored a goal too.
We have this guy named Foligno. And we kind of like him because he beats the shit out of everyone. I got a great idea. Let's get another one.
More full
And just tell him to beat the shit out of everyone. That's how they're able to, sometimes I look at Quinn Hughes and I'm like, 2 months of playoff hockey? I don't know how he's going to be able to do that. Well, just surround him with the team that's going to beat the shit out of everyone. That's what
Yeah.
The Wild have 4 insanely elite players and have mostly surrounded them with good goaltending and guys who will try their bag off and beat the shit out of you.
Jesse,
That's a playoff team.
And players who are right on the cusp of we're talking some of the best players in the league. In that conversation has got to be Joel Eriksson-Ek, who left the game with an injury, and they're able to just play as well without him, and then he comes back and everything.
All
he was
underrated
really
team.
good.
All NHL underrated team.
Totally. Matt Boldy needs to be in the superstar conversation with what he does, and we all know Kaprizov. They're so talented that they've been able to just fill the middle of the lineup through guys who work hard and play good defense.
Last night was a crazy night for Matt Boldy fantasy holders.
Why is that?
Relatively quiet night, and then bang, bang, 2 empty netters. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
Do you want a little Quincy's Ghosts? after the game.
Absolutely.
Always.
This is always the best content. So here he is post game after the game.
He looks like he plays with a sense of calm. Does that carry through to the rest?
They're asking about Wallstead and him playing with calm, just for context.
He looks like he plays with a sense of calm. Does that carry through to the rest of the group, the way he plays?
I mean, I never worry about the goalies. I don't know anything about goalies, so I honestly never think about it. But that's the point. I never think about it. Wally's got the net, and it's just, I'm not worried about it by any means. So he was terrific, obviously.
He looks like
I don't think about it. I don't think about it. And he's just staring into nothing.
Yep.
I'd be so pissed as Jake Ottinger, this friggin' guy who I won a gold medal with, by the way, scoring a series-winning goal on me and then being like, I don't know anything about goalies.
No, I don't know about anything. I just play hockey.
I just play hockey. I show up, ruin your season.
Someone told me where to go one day. I just ended up at this arena.
Unreal. Now,
I was applying for a job at Walmart and they put a stick in my hand. I was like, all right, it's a living.
Do you know Dallas has a Hughes?
they have one of the Hughes?
Cameron Hughes.
Is it? He's not part of the Hughes.
No, he's not.
No, he's just a different Hughes.
Just a guy.
All right. I thought there was only three.
No, he's just
there's only three.
I'm digging.
Okay, so before we move on here, anything else to add on Minnesota Dallas? Now, we're going to save our preview because we always do previews that are separate from the show. Because I want to know how Minnesota and Colorado match up, and I want to know what you guys think about it, but I'm not going to ask here because we always do our pre-round sort of matchup thing, so we're going to be doing that. Now, time to get to our Moosehead segment, 100% Clutch Canadians. 100% Clutch Canadians presented by Moosehead Canadian Lager. Moosehead is the last major Canadian brewery, still owned by Canadians, still brewed here, still packaged here, still all Canadian. And you know what? We're an all-Canadian company too. So, Steve, you can't take it.
I want it.
You can't take it home. So what we do with this segment is it doesn't matter what team they play for. We're highlighting clutch Canadians from around the league. The first round is almost over, but not quite fully. Who are we picking this week as your 100% clutch Canadian? Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
All right.
Crazy pick, given it is the year 2026, and this player was picked in 2009. They are the leading scorer in these playoffs amongst Canadian players, and that is not going to stay true for very long on account of they just got eliminated. Matt Duchene had 9 points, tied for second in the entire NHL in a 6-game series. His team is out. It's not because of him. He had an incredible performance for Dallas.
All right, I like that. Jesse, do you want to go next?
Because the NHL won't acknowledge him, I will acknowledge him. In 45 games played, he had 31 wins, 6 losses, and 6 OT losses. A .921 save percentage, led the league amongst qualified goaltenders. Scott Wedgwood from Brampton, Ontario, was not nominated for a Vezina Trophy.
Should have been.
And I think it's so ridiculous that he wasn't. Best goalie on the best team. I don't know how he didn't get some love from the guys who vote on the Vezina Trophy, which I believe is the GMs. They did a disservice to this great Canadian and Bramptonite.
I want to do a shout out to Logan Stankoven. I promised on Monday that I would, because Canes fans have been, and I have to eat a lot of crow with the Canes because I had Ottawa winning that series in 7. Boy, listen, I always respected the Carolina Hurricanes, but every time I predicted the Carolina Hurricanes, they've let me down.
You picked the wrong year to sell.
Yeah, I think I sold low. Yeah. Logan Stankoven, unbelievable start. 4 goals in 4 games, positively Brandon Hagel-esque. 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. All of the goals were key and they were important and they came at key moments. And this guy is, first off, Kamloops, BC. He's 5'8". Small players can do it. They can. He's wee. And he's a lot of wee, and he was a lot of fun. And Logan Stankoven is my 100% clutch Canadian. And I know that series ended a while ago, but we needed to shout him out. So remember, in the playoffs, it's more than just great goals. It's heart and soul, grinding 2 months for the ultimate prize. And we want to be talking about those Canadians. You can always submit who you think we should do for next week as well. We do this every Friday. So feel free to leave it in the comment section, DM us, whatever. It is the 100% Clutch Canadians presented by Moosehead Canadian Lager. And now, for the first time ever, I present to you Ben Quack going to the second round, baby! Ben Quack!
You know what? I'm into the bit now.
It's the best bit.
It's a great bit.
They've been doing this all season. People ignored them all year. Now everybody likes Ben Quack.
Where did they get this stuff?
Where'd they get this idea?
I wanna know.
He looks so satisfied too. He looks very happy with what he's doing.
He does, actually. I was like, why are they holding this poor duck? Look at him. He looks chuffed.
Is Ben Affleck aware of the copyright infringement on his name?
I hope so.
You know what? He better be okay with it. That's a nice tribute. That's a nice tribute.
Somebody asked J-Lo.
That's what we need. Ben Affleck takes duck to court.
You know what would be really funny is if the Ducks have a couple of bad games and then the Ben Affleck becomes the Ben Affleck meme where he's smoking.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't done that.
How have they not done that?
The duck outside in a towel smoking with a giant tattoo on his back.
Dropping Dunkin' Donuts all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
He's one of the most memeable people.
The Ducks and
this duck.
So
he randomly knows Spanish really well.
Jesse.
The duck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, it's Ben Affleck.
There's something I need you to bring up on Twitter like immediately now because I think you guys need to know. So it's the next link on the rundown.
If it's not a duck playing an instrument, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
It's not a duck playing an instrument.
You're terrible.
But the Ducks fans did something that, and you could see some of them in the replies, Jesse.
I don't want to show that.
Okay, well, you could see some of the.
No, we're not going to show that.
Ducks fans were throwing Oilers hockey cards in all the urinals for every home game.
Oh, ew.
We're not going to. I'm going to veto showing actual human piss on our podcast.
Pictures. There are actual pictures of this. Ducks fans thought it was a thing. So I guess they've been doing it all playoff. I just found out about it tonight, but I thought that was pretty funny. I think that's a funny bit. It's a funny bit.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's funny. I just don't want to see it.
I just don't want to see human pee.
For the first time since 2020, the Oilers will not play hockey in May.
Wow. That's a pretty good run.
Yeah. Now, I believe in 2020, did they not get swept by the Jets? That was the last time they didn't make it out of the first round.
Yes, but also that was in August.
That was in August, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Because friggin' both host teams got knocked out in the qualifying round. Toronto and Ed Money.
It's kind of crazy how this all went down. Dustin Nielsen, who works at TSN 1260, who I think every Oilers fan knows, has said, we are now entering the most important offseason in Oilers history. And I think that says a lot considering they had to trade Gretzky.
Wow. I've seen the Knobloch talk. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's a secondary priority you cannot bring back Stan Bowman. You can't.
So it's interesting because I was talking to somebody last night. They think that Knobloch doesn't make it, but Stan survives because you got to get to work right away. And if you're bringing in a new person, it could be a month for them to get the things going.
That's great. You have the wrong person. You have definitively the wrong person. Trent Frederick, disaster. Holloway, disaster. Broberg, disaster. McLeod would look pretty good in an Oilers uniform.
Hey, man, they could have kept Fogle, too. That was Ken Holland.
Fogle looked pretty good in an Oilers uniform. The Frederick extension, the Jari trade, you can't.
Can I say something?
Just an unfathomable amount of damage in such a short period of time for a team that is cup or bust.
You know who I thought they could have used this series? And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I didn't watch enough of his games.
All three of the Leaf guys that they didn't get?
Brett Kulak, who was a part of the Stuart Skinner trade. Remember, they traded Kulak and Skinner. And can you use a shutdown defenseman who's now playing in Colorado, by the way, and in the second round?
I was about to say, he's in, oh boy. Bowman. And then releasing a video where you're like, yeah, we gave up a ton for Jason Dickinson.
Who was good.
And Connor Murphy. Both of them were good.
Murphy had 2 goals.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot for Connor Murphy.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, he scored last night.
But look at you. And okay, McDavid's hurt or what? Okay, well, you showed that all you're tasked with is just surround McDavid with adequate players and you'll at least get through a few rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And with McDavid still a point per game player, but obviously very limited, you showed that the Oilers have nothing else to offer, really.
When we interviewed Keith Acton at his Boston Pizza in Stouffville, he is the proprietor there. He's got a picture of himself on the wall drinking out of the Stanley Cup with the 1990 Oilers. And at the time, we were going into those playoffs, and the Leafs, that was the year the Leafs went to, just past the year, I think the Leafs went to the second round or whatever it was. It was, it was the year after. But anyway, what he said, and this is with the Oilers having all those good players. This is their first run to the Stanley Cup final. He said, if Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl do this with this group, and that's the 2024 group, it will be the most impressive Stanley Cup of all time. That's a player who's won the cup, played on the same line as Guy Lafleur, assistant coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. This guy knows it. And he said that group, if they won, that would be the most impressive run. And they came within one game of doing it.
And wasn't he part of the Gretzky, or not Gretzky, the post-Gretzky Oilers Cup win?
Yeah, that's the 1990.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's saying that about...
Yes.
Yeah, and that group got worse.
That's the thing. I mean, they did take a step back last year. They played one less game in the finals.
Yeah, I guess.
You kind of have to look at it like that.
And you could look at that and go, well, Hyman, it's the playoffs. You don't get a complete roster. You don't. I don't think anyone's really, woe is me, that aspect of it. Listen.
Yeah, I haven't heard any Oilers fans complain about that.
When McDavid signed his extension, I was like, oh, they're winning a cup. This year wasn't necessarily the year I thought it was going to get done. And the reason for that is the benefits of his extension don't kick in until next year, right? So he was always going to make $12.5 million this year. $12.5 million for the next 2 seasons with the cap going where it's going is insanity. Crazy town value for the Oilers. But the way it's looking is if they don't have a major overhaul and market improvement next year, next offseason, you're having a much more difficult conversation about Connor McDavid. And I think
it's very similar to what the Leafs are going to face with Matthews.
Oh, absolutely.
At least the Oilers made the playoffs.
Yeah, but the bar for the Leafs is nowhere near
as high
what it is for the Oilers.
Yep.
The Oilers this year was cup or bust. Leaf fans are like, can you win a round? Can you win? That'd be nice. If you conference final,
we'll give you a statue.
Maybe we'll give you a statue. Retire your number. Do anything remotely looking like success once ever. Please. It's not the same. So don't be like, well, what about... Stop. Do you expect anything out of the Leafs? Okay, great. Neither do we. So we're talking about the Oilers.
I brought up the Leafs.
And we're talking about... Yeah, but they have to win the cup next year.
Or come close.
No,
because Connor's
got to win the cup.
If they go third or fourth round, Connor's not going to be like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here."
I'm on Steve's side.
Really?
Yeah,
they have to win.
We've done that. I've seen that movie before. They've come close. It's about winning it and getting it done now.
How many teams? So I'm going to put a caveat on it. So don't just take Connor McDavid off the Oilers, put him on a team, and then they win the cup. Take any of the other 15 playoff teams. Remove that team's best player from their roster. Add Connor McDavid in their place. How many of them win the cup?
A couple.
Like Colorado, obviously, okay, McKinnon's there. That's a great player.
Yeah. The improvement isn't that crazy.
Take Rantanen off the Stars.
Add McDavid.
I
think it's a bit of an improvement.
Who's the best player on the Hurricanes?
Depends on how you're looking at it.
Like
Aho?
Slavin or Aho?
One of those two.
Take Aho off the Hurricanes and replace him with Connor McDavid.
I think that's
which the Hurricanes can literally afford.
That's the game breaker they're looking for.
They probably win the cup. Take Nikita Kucherov is an interesting one. Take him off Tampa.
Yeah, it's the same with the McKinnon thing,
right?
Yeah.
So the Oilers have to win the cup. They have to. You sign this extension to win a cup.
So you guys both think that, eh? That's crazy.
100%.
I didn't.
What's the other purpose?
I thought the purpose was to give them a chance. And if they don't do it, well, okay, maybe he leaves at the end of the second year of the extension. But you're saying first year extension, get it done, or else look at trading him?
Yes. Now, if they come real close.
Well, because then
it's
Connor and Leon are now in their early 30s at that point.
It's if they come close to winning the cup, and they decide to take McDavid into the second year of his extension, it's one of the biggest gambles in NHL history.
I think you take that gamble, don't you?
Well,
It's McDavid.
It's all in. It is the very literal definition of
Clear the
all
cupboard.
in. We try to, you commit to being dog shit, because if he leaves, it's over. But the Oilers could win back-to-back cups these next 2 years, and I don't think anyone would be shocked.
Now, if Connor McDavid got traded, okay. My thing is, okay, so he gets traded, and he's getting, and if he gets traded after next season, like you guys are talking about, like, hey, so
I don't think the Oilers should initiate any trade. I think
he might.
It's him if they're not winning. It's where do I go to win the cup? I didn't say that the Oilers should trade McDavid.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't want those words in my mouth.
Sorry, my apologies. What I'm saying is, okay, so whatever team he gets traded to, and it'll be his choice if he got traded. I've been wondering, like, okay, so what's the return for that? And is any acquiring team going to want to pay that? Not because they wouldn't want to because it's Connor McDavid, but because are you handicapping yourself and putting yourself in the same situation the Oilers have, which is we don't have enough depth to surround Connor McDavid for a true cup run? Like, does Connor just play out the 2 years and then sign as an unrestricted free agent and say, listen, guys, I gave you the 2 years and I'm going to now just do me? Because that, to me, if I'm him, that's how I look at it.
It's one of the highest stakes questions asked on this show ever, like since we started it in 2013. You have a chance to win 1 or 2 Stanley Cups in the next 2 years, or lose the best player in hockey for nothing,
and potentially then have to trade Draisaitl too. Potentially.
Holy cow! Like, is that the rub? Is that, you know what, we go for it, and if we make it, great. If we don't, we trade Leon, I guess. And now you got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Oh, but like, we're talking about a crazy, awful doomsday scenario. There's also a very real scenario where they win literally back-to-back cups.
Chris Johnson said, incredibly, this was the 16th straight playoff series where Connor McDavid registered at least a point a game. Belief was he was severely compromised, playing through serious pain. Jean-Francois, who is a capologist. You can follow him at Jean-Francois CBA. Connor McDavid and Wayne Gretzky are the only 2 players in NHL history with more than 2 seasons of 33 points or more in the postseason.
Wow.
Yeah, which is crazy. This summer, McDavid will begin the first of his second-year extension. Is this the beginning of the end? Now, everybody wants it to be that way. I think that's still early. But, Jess, let's bring up the Connor McDavid clip afterwards, because I thought this was about as honest as it gets in terms of this is a hard-hitting one.
He didn't tell a lie.
You know what I liked about it too? And I'll just preface this as Jesse brings it up. I like that he didn't say anything. He made no excuses. He didn't say we'll flush it or whatever. He told it like it was, and I really respect this.
Well, it's a lesson.
Didn't have that you had last game.
They played very fast, and we weren't very fast. Yeah, it was just the opposite. They had a good start. We didn't chasing the game.
What was it about your game that you guys you found it in spurts, but you just couldn't maintain it? I guess. What did you see out there in this?
I mean, that's been the whole year. We've been searching for consistency all year. Obviously, we didn't find it here in the playoffs.
You're wide. I mean, it seems like it goes back to game 1. It's been all year searching. Any way to put your finger on how come it was so hard to find the overall game this season?
That was tough. We were an average team all year.
There it
an
is.
average team with high expectations, you're going to be disappointed. We just never found it.
You guys
2 long playoff runs catch up to this week.
Whatever. I'm not going to. No. I thought we were. Yeah. I don't know.
The special teams battle coming into this series, a lot of people favored you guys. Why do you think it swung so much the other way, Connor?
Because we weren't very good on the penalty kill. Our play didn't get off to a good start, found its way into the series. Obviously, we don't get one tonight, but we struggled on the PK all year too. Searching for consistency there too. The power play could have been better to start the series. Credit to them.
you had a lot of guys banged up, yourself included. I guess how tough was that? Some injuries, kind of tough to fight through.
Yeah, too hurt too soon. The first round is always tough. It's always chaotic, and it's tough to play through things so early on, as many guys did in here. Credit to our staff for making guys available and making sure they're as comfortable as possible. That being said, it's not an excuse either. We expected to have a longer run than we did. It is what it is.
You can hear the wooing down the hall, by the way.
Yeah, at the end of that. I think you have 2 kicks at the can with Connor McDavid. And you play it out the next 2 seasons. You better win a Stanley Cup. And then at the end of that extension, it's a sign-in trade if you don't have a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
That's how I say. That's why I agree with Steve where it's Stanley Cup or bust. I don't think it's going to be on the Oilers to ever trade McDavid. I don't think
they're never going to initiate.
I don't think you come to that conclusion in February and you're like, oh, we got to make a trade. I think you just take your chances with the playoffs that year. But if it looks like that they are a second rounded out or a first rounded out the next 2 years, then it's his tenure's done in Edmonton. I think he's about the Cups.
We looked at this series in this playoffs. We looked at it like, okay, whoever the Oilers play, we almost like we overlooked all aspects of the matchup and just went, it's the Oilers. They don't deserve that benefit of the doubt. And McDavid agrees. Like it, maybe I'm extrapolating, putting words in his mouth a little bit. When he talks about he couldn't have said the word PK more times. I don't know who runs their PK, but I'd be packing my shit. I think there's going to be huge changes to the coaching staff, but he talks about this is an average team. Who assembled it? Who assembled this average team? They weren't an average team last year.
You really think they should fire him?
Who, Bowman?
Bowman, yeah.
Yes!
Okay. Like you would get rid of if you were in charge, if you were in CEO of Edmonton Oilers Entertainment, you're firing Stan Bowman today.
Yes, and I sleep like a baby, and it's the easiest decision I've made.
Wow.
But you got to find someone then to replace him, and who is that?
Jeff, you take over the friggin' duties until I can find someone.
Jeff was the one that lost them Broberg and Holloway.
Then maybe he should watch his ass too.
So, because Jeff did his job. They hired Jeff to keep Connor. They kept Connor. So Jeff did his job.
All Doug Armstrong did was do what people have been asking for a long time, which is made the offseason interesting and offered an offer sheet. But it was practical. Like, okay, they can't defend themselves from this.
Yep.
We can afford this. They're in our conference, so fuck them. And we have an opportunity to get 2 really good players. And guess what? The Blues are not a very good team, but Broberg and Holloway have been spectacular for them.
Yep. And I think Holloway struggled with injuries this year, but he was still good when he was playing.
Yeah, and when he was playing, he was making less than $3 million.
And Broberg making 4, and he's worth it. Right shot defenseman could have used that.
So that's bad. The Trent Frederick trade and then extension.
I was for the Trent Frederick thing, I have to say. Not the extension,
I was too.
For the trade. I was like, man, he was really effective in Boston.
Yeah.
He was.
The extension was a disaster.
Yeah, nobody said, yay, that's good. Nobody.
I tried to, in the video when he signed, I tried to be like, here's how it could be good. And I think he scored 18 goals and 17 goals with Boston, then had a really down year because of injury. But I'm like, okay, if he returns that average, boom, right off the bat, this trade is worth it. It's good to have this player on the roster. Disaster. I don't know why, like, we're not being hard enough on the Jari stuff. We said it at the time. That was an all-in move. This goalie took us to back-to-back cup finals and gave us some pretty good hockey in there. Also gave us some pretty bad hockey, but he gave us some pretty good hockey. You sold low on him, bought high on Jari. It's a goalie making less on an expiring deal for a goalie making more on a deal with term, and it was a complete and utter disaster. I
to the point where apparently the Oiler players, the big guys, were calling him out in practice.
Like,
which is a thing that's followed him around, by the way.
Every GM, yes, it is. Every GM is going to make bad deals, even the best ones.
Yep.
This one should do it.
31 GMs said they don't want Tristan Jarry when he was available for free a year earlier from the Pittsburgh Penguins. And he
puts 3 good months together, and all of a sudden that changes.
The Edmonton Oilers saw
it was like a
couple weeks of really good hockey, and they sent out Kulak, who you mentioned before, a second-round pick, and the goalie that took him to the Stanley Cup Finals a couple years in a row. It's one of the worst trades we have on history because at the end of the day, Connor Ingram was in net.
Yeah.
Wasn't even the guy you sent out the assets for. He couldn't even start for you.
That deal was good. The Ingram one. Like that was the risk that you took. All right.
We'll take him, start him in Bakersfield.
But
worked out.
That is a swing out of your shoes type of move from Bowman, and he completely whiffed. He believed 14 games played, a 9-3-1 record, and a 909. That's what Jarry had in Pittsburgh. And he goes 9-6-2, somehow still above 500. Mm-hmm. This team should want to win the cup because he was above 500 with an 858. Why did you get dressed? 858 and a shutout? When? How? You put on your equipment? You spent all that time putting on your equipment to give us a 958. The Frederick move, like, okay, they're a capped out team. That's been one of their biggest challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Whiff.
Yep. Roslovic had a good regular season. I think he had 1 assist and he hit a crossbar last night.
Yeah, he hit a crossbar last night. I'm not even gonna like Roslovic.
But you need those guys like what Connor Brown was for them. For a couple of years. You need those guys down in the lineup to be that.
But
right?
like it's a much smaller sin. Mm-hmm. You need to spend every dollar so carefully. Mangiapane was a big swing for you in free agency. Yeah. Fart. Frederick was a big swing for you in terms of trading for him and then extending him. Fart. Jarry was a massive swing for you. Massive. And the savings you got on Connor McDavid for the next 2 years are now mitigated by the fact that you have Jarry for the next 2 years. Stan Bowman, he should be fired before the end of the show. What are we all talking about? He's damned this team. And he's going to have the offseason of his life to bring them back to heaven.
Ken Holland made some bad moves in Edmonton, but he made some good ones. Hyman, great signing. Ekholm, great trade.
Wallman,
great trade. Great trade.
Fantastic move.
Yeah, that was an awesome move. There are guys that he brought in, Connor Brown. He brought in some of these other depth guys that really were a big part of those 2 runs. And then what happens, obviously, in the NHL, it's always that, hey, team goes on a cup run, third liner has a good cup run, gets overpaid in the offseason.
100%.
And that's totally fine. But the goal of the general manager is not to retain the guy you already have. It's to find the next guy who can be that guy. And Bowman hasn't done that. And let me give you some, this is a crazy stat. So the first round goalie stats for Connor Ingram, 3.86 goals against average, 876 save percentage. Lucas Dostal, 3.87 goals against average and an 872 save percentage. So even worse. And I would tell you from watching that series, both were very good. I think they were good. It was just it was one of those series. It was an 80s series.
If you get slightly below league average goaltending, I'm not even going to say league average goaltending. You get slightly below league average goaltending, you win that series.
You do.
And like no disrespect to the Ducks, but it's the damn Oilers. Crazy, unacceptable, fireable fumble.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree just a slightly.
Okay.
To credit the Ducks with what they've done, I think Joel Quenneville outcoached Chris Knobloch masterfully in that series. He shut down the top lines of the Oilers. McDavid was injured and hampered, but I thought Quenneville did a great job deploying all the guys he had available to him to shut down that line.
I didn't think the Ducks had that in them. I didn't think they had the personnel to do that.
Yeah, and it was shocking to see. I don't think everybody underappreciated what the Ducks did all year long. And then when they show up in these playoffs against a really good Edmonton team, they're able to deploy all 4 lines against their top lines. But I think they're going to look towards Knobloch and him losing the coaching battle in this series, and sitting right there is Bruce Cassidy. And I think by the time we record next week, on like next week's end of the week episode, Bruce Cassidy's probably the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
I think he's a great fit.
I think 7 days from now, he's in Edmonton.
And the one benefit they have if they don't fire Bowman is they can just move now. They can just do it, right? The Leafs are like, well, we don't know what we're going to hire this guy, and then we're going to do it. You're going to miss the best coaching talent in years, Bruce Cassidy being available.
Yep.
And
now Berube is the head coach.
Listen, Oiler fans, you might be having a down day. Trust me. It's worse elsewhere.
We're having a down life.
They should give him like a gold card that says like coach for life for the Leafs. He never gets fired.
Has good relationship with CEO.
Yeah.
Nice guy, which he is. Everybody likes Chief.
I don't care.
I think the Oilers, because they always kind of jump on things. I feel like in these situations, they're not afraid to move off of guys. And I think they're going to jump on Cassidy.
Okay, so here's my next question to you. And we talked about this a little bit, and this is all going to go into the Oilers offseason stuff. But did you guys see in the third period, about 11 minutes to go, Darnell Nurse has completely free ice, and he doesn't get past center.
He doesn't take 2 strides to get to the red line.
And he fucking ices it.
$9.25 million.
So Oilers Jack, who's a big Oilers fan account, put this together, and I thought this was really interesting. He said Darnell Nurse had 7 regular season goals and 0 in the playoffs. Okay? He also had 5 own goals during the regular season and 2 own goals in the playoffs.
No.
So he has as many nets. He on this season had as many own goals as he did goals for.
Now, when you say own goal,
it bounced off and went.
Bounce off him. I think that kind of sucks. If you
it's part of a defenseman, right?
It's going to happen.
But you're picking on a guy when he's down.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Yeah.
How many years? Are we going to go into the offseason with Oilers fans going, we have to do something about the Nurse situation?
Who wants Darnell Nurse?
At that, I think plenty of teams do. Not at that number.
Exactly. Well, how do you maneuver that situation?
No, I've seen some like revisionist history about like Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Like, well, he's good now. Okay, yes. But the contract that John Chayka signed him to, he was making $8 million. I think it was over $8 million.
John,
and he was so violently not an $8 million player, and not $8 million today, which you might be like, oh, that's like second pair.
No, $8 million.
$8 million pre-COVID?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're one of the richest players in the league.
That'd be equivalent to like $14 million today.
9.25 for Nurse is untenable.
Yeah, OEL is a $3.5 million defenseman.
Absolutely.
Maybe he's a little underrated with this new cap environment.
Yeah.
Sure. Great.
Imagine Darnell Nurse made that.
Oh, if Nurse made half.
Buddy, if he made 6.
We wouldn't even talk about it.
No.
That's why I said, wasn't the conversation we were having Zadorov? Or I can't remember who we were talking about.
I think Zadorov is who you brought up, last time.
Oh, okay.
Like in terms of if he made this much money.
Oh,
you'd be
yeah.
like, he's great.
Yeah.
9.25, even with the cap going up. Boy, oh boy, no thanks.
I do think, the Leafs should look at, they should look at that. They should look at that. They should. I love
Nurse?
Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I love him.
Yeah.
But they should call the Oilers and go, do you want Oliver Ekman-Larsson now?
Hey, can we do
Bobby
that?
McMahon might have helped them.
Can we do that stupid trade that we stupidly didn't do?
It should have been. Imagine how different the Oilers are with McMahon and Ekman-Larsson and the speed that McMahon brings. Because that's the thing with the Ducks.
Cool. Well, they can get McMahon for free this offseason.
The Ducks are fast all the way through. They can, and they should. Like that's a guy that I think would be amazing. And I want to talk a little bit about some injuries the Oilers had too, because every single center on the Oilers was injured. Connor was injured. I think he was injured coming into this, but I don't think people realize, and I didn't really realize, when Ekholm fell on his skate in game 2, I think that was really bad. And then you had Draisaitl miss 7 or 8 weeks coming into this. You had Dickinson, who you just traded for, was injured. And then in the first shift or the second shift of the first game, Adam Henrique takes a weird fall on his right knee and he just hits the ice. And then you don't see him again. And I was like, I remember thinking at the time, I'm like, oh, that must just be a deep bruise, because it wasn't like a twist or anything. and maybe he broke his kneecap. Like, I don't know what happened there.
Adam Henrique, 36 years old. Played a lot of hockey, man.
Played a lot of hockey.
1,058 games plus another 68 in the playoffs. Drafted 2008.
Comparing
he might honestly just retire.
He might.
His contract's expiring and he's 36.
On the other side of this, the Ducks won all series long. There were times where, if you look at the overall faceoffs, they were somewhat even, but the Ducks would win key faceoffs. And in the playoffs, there's a difference. There's a difference between like your neutral zone dot close to the bench face-off and key face-off in offensive or defensive situation.
It's a massive reason the Habs are up 3-2.
Tim Washing, last night, the guy they just signed out of college, who's the fourth line center, was 11 for 12. Mason McTavish was 5 for 5, and Mason McTavish kept getting face-offs because his face-off guy kept getting kicked out. They kicked a lot of guys out of the dot. Michael Granlund, 8 for 12. There's a guy Dallas misses, right?
Yeah.
And so when you start and you win those faceoffs, you can dictate a lot of play. And I have to say, I have to hand it to the centerman for the Ducks. They were all very, very good. I'm telling you guys, people were laughing at me at the beginning of this series when I said I think Leo Carlsson is, if Macklin is Connor, then Leo Carlsson is McKinnon or Draisaitl. This guy he was phenomenal all series.
Good.
Phenomenal.
Really good.
Bulldozer. Can't knock him off the puck. It's glued to his stick. And it's perfect because he's always finding Troy Terry. It's an incredible group. Now, the other guy, another guy we have to shout out is Jackson Lacombe, who has had 9 points in the series. I believe leads the playoffs in points right now.
What?
I'm pretty sure he was leading the playoffs a couple of games ago. So if he's not leading it now, he was.
Draisaitl leads in points.
Oh, Draisaitl leads in points.
Yeah,
he
got
10?
10. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so Lacombe.
How demoralizing does that have to be for Leon?
Duchesne, Kaprizov, Boldy, and Lacombe all have 9.
Damn, there's a few guys not in the playoffs anymore.
And so Lacombe had 9 points in the series, which is incredible. The record for points in a series is 10. Getzlaf and Perry have both done that. And I want to say this too. The Ducks scored at 5-on-5, but when the penalties came, and they came, the Ducks were 50%, 8 for 16 on the series, 50%
on the power play.
Yeah,
you're not.
That's a crazy conversion.
You're not winning that. It's a miracle. It went 6. I think that's how good the Oilers are. You could have a 50% penalty kill and still force 6.
And who ran the power play for Anaheim?
Oh, friggin' Jay Woodcroft.
Yeah.
I think he is currently, and it's what time is it right now? This is 12:26 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
He's over there on the West Coast. He is probably enjoying the most satisfying coffee he's ever had right now.
And he's living in a place with palm trees.
Palm trees. That has to feel just unreal.
Joe Quenneville gave him a shout out. He said he knew, what did he say? He said, Jay's got an awareness of a lot of their tendencies and a lot of their predictable moments or what their mannerisms are. Basically, what to expect. He was very helpful. And our power play being that strong with 2 different units was very well done, because that's the key too for the Ducks power play. Unlike the Leafs, who are so utterly predictable. There's so many things about watching the playoffs where if you cheer for a shit team, and let's be honest, the Leafs are a shit team.
Has this made you mad at them?
Oh yeah, I'm so angry.
Yeah.
The Ducks were able to roll 1 minute of one power play unit, 1 minute of the other. The Ducks were so deep that they're like, sorry, Jackson Lacombe. Playoff point leader for a little while here. You're just 1 point behind Draisaitl right now. We're going to move you to the second unit. We want John Carlson on the first unit.
That's why they got him.
And they both came through. Both units were great. I just feel like this whole thing about, only load up the top power play unit. That's because you're not good enough. That's just what it means.
Well,
you don't have enough depth.
Like some teams, that's been mostly what's happened in Montreal, Tampa. Montreal kind of got away from that in game 5. But you look at Tampa's first unit, you're like, oh man, why are they only using the first unit? And then it's like Radish passes to Hagel, passes to Gensel, passes to Point, passes to Kucherov, and you're like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. For other teams, it just works to split it. Cutter Gauthier, how haven't we really talked about him?
I mean, 41 goals this year and unbelievable in this series.
Killer.
I think he was leading the team in hits until recently.
He's hitting everyone who moves, and he had 7 points in 6 games, 4 goals.
Ryan McGill deserves some credit. He's the assistant coach for the Ducks that ran their PK. And the Devils had the second best PK in 24-25 at 82.7%. He improved the Ducks like 3 spots this year. It wasn't great, but it was a lot better. And it was a lot better come playoff time. What I think is very interesting, again, as a Leaf fan, is we've never really, until maybe the last year, been able to trust our fourth line in the Matthews era, ever. And the more Washy VL line was constantly out there matched against Connor McDavid.
You've got to be useful. Like your fourth line can't simply be where you put your 3 worst forwards. That's not a recipe for a championship. They've got to have purpose. Are they bang and crash? Are they shut down? Are they go to the net? What are they?
Yeah.
Make them something. You could even make them a defensive liability that can score. For the love of God, you've got to have a fourth line that has an identity, and it's not just here's our band of merry men that we throw out there for 7 minutes a night or whatever. And like we talked about how well the Ducks shut down the Oilers. Imagine like the looks you would get if you were like, you know what? I think Tim Washy is going to do really good against Connor McDavid.
So the first thing I think the person would say was who?
Yeah. I'd be like, you friggin' hipster, shut up.
Yeah. Like,
trying to sound smart.
Tim Wash.
Tim Wash, shut up.
Yeah.
Here's how they put their fourth line together. Ian Moore, 3rd round pick, 67th overall. Oh, 6'7". 2020 NHL draft, which is a weird draft.
Yes.
Washy signed out of college. 24-year-old signed out of college.
Yep.
VL was a 4th rounder that they gave to Boston. And VL plays like a Bruin.
Sure does.
I think that's a pretty sweet way to build. Hey, imagine not firing 4 first-round picks into the sun for your fourth line. Imagine. Even second-round picks, Brian Boyle, Thomas Plekanec. Guys.
My heart hurts.
And the other thing with the Ducks that I think is amazing, Pat Verbeek took a bunch of fucking cast-offs. New York, Trouba, we don't fucking want you. And then a year later, actually told him for a year they didn't want him, but he hung on. And then they finally said, Chris Kreider, get out of here. Get out.
Can I throw another name in there?
Please.
Because you mentioned him earlier. I can't believe Granlund's part of the solution. I thought...
Great free agent signing.
Yeah, when I saw him sign there, I'm like, yep, he's going to make a bunch of money there, and they'll eventually trade him. Because this team's going nowhere violently fast. He's part of the solution, like a huge part of the solution.
He was great in this series. He was great. They have
Killorn.
They've got and Killorn was another one where I was saying on the stream, I'm like, Killorn is essentially a cap dump. People are like, what are you talking about? Tampa just couldn't pay him what he wanted to make. I'm like,
that's what a cap dump is.
A cap casualty then.
Sure, cap casualty, great.
Tampa said, no, we're not going to pay you that. And Anaheim said, we will.
Yeah.
And then you trade a first-round pick for John Carlson, and you have Killorn, 2-time Stanley Cup winner. John Carlson has won a cup. Granlund's been deep a bunch of times. Kreider and Trouba have been deep a bunch of times. These guys were great in this series.
They had a lot more experience than they were given credit
Billed
for.
as, yeah.
But like the young guys carried the load. They were great.
They were.
They were great. They didn't need it.
It's and
now they got it.
I think Beckett Seneca he's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. He's 6'4". He's a child. If you took a 14-year-old's head and put it on a 6'4" guy, that's what Beckett Seneca looks like.
He looks very young, yeah.
And everybody hates him. Everybody hates him.
And what are you going to do about it? Because look at who the Ducks are surrounded by. I don't know if they're like I don't really think they're an imposing team, but
they will respond.
They're not going to take any shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a hard out. They're a hard out. It's made me look at them a little differently. Like, obviously, we're looking at the Oilers a little differently. But the Ducks are going to play the winner of Vegas, Utah. And right now, it's looking like Utah. Or, sorry, the opposite. Right now, it's looking like Vegas. Vegas in 6 is looking pretty good over here. Heading into the playoffs, I'd be like, yeah, okay, so free space Vegas. Whoever it is plays the Ducks, they're gone. I'm not so sure anymore.
No, I'm not either. I'm not sure that Vegas is going to win this series either.
It's going to be, well, no game is ever over.
No.
Neither team can hold on to a lead.
That was like Edmonton.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody could. I do think, I have there's some weird deployment things going on in Utah. Let's just call it what it is. You go and you trade Kesselring and Doan for Peterka, and now you're playing him on the fourth line.
It's not great. There's a lot
what are we doing here?
There's a lot of unforced errors on both sides.
Yeah. And Vegas, I think, are slower. If Utah were smart, they would take advantage of the fact that they are slower, and that that's what Anaheim did to Edmonton, especially on the back end. Slow moving back end pieces versus fast forwards, usually a recipe for disaster.
Like Anaheim's kind of a bad stylistic matchup for Vegas.
I think so, if they play their game.
Yeah.
Now people are, and I know Drew is amongst them, so I'm going to call Drew out directly. He's like, Adam, you got to remember, the Oilers were not good. McDavid said it himself. So still there's going to be a lot of people that don't believe in the Ducks until they beat a team outside of their own division.
That's fair.
Those people are going to learn, I think, very soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You believe in them, eh?
Looking at the Ducks, just to dovetail everything kind of you guys were going through, because
Ducktail.
just to quacktail everything you guys were talking about. What Pat Verbeek is doing, I think, is the perfect way to build a hockey team in this new era where you can't build teams through free agency at all. You brought up Granlund. That was their only July 1st signing last year. They did one because they recognize this isn't how we're going to build a good team. They did their work beforehand where they acquired Kreider and Trouba. And this year they go out and they do the Carlson deal and they do the Cutter Gauthier deal and they do the Ryan Paling deal.
Yeah, the Paling deal. He was great.
That was in the Zegras trade.
Yes.
We forget that their team largely, it is built through the draft and trades. That is it. And Granlund is the one exception on the guys who are not acquired through that way, because in the NHL now, you're not just going to buy your way into a really good team. They've built this thing up very slowly with a lot of high-end talent through the draft and high-end talent like Gauthier, who they acquired from other teams that were drafted highly. And then they've gotten the margins through very smart trades.
Yep.
The John Carlson trade is fantastic.
And what a surprise. Remember on trade deadline day, we're like, John Carlson?
And there was a moment where it was like, the Ducks might not make the playoffs here, and that trade's a disaster.
Totally. But now that they're in and it's working, that was a really good trade for somebody who at the end of his tenure in Washington is like, I want to go somewhere and make the playoffs and win. And they jumped on that. And then slowly you look at the other moves they make, like acquiring Trouba, which is a strange deal on the surface for where they were at the time. Remember, that was the bad Ducks who took on the Trouba contract.
The depressing Ducks.
Because New York was just like, we want to get rid of everybody. And they jumped on that opportunity. And Pat Verbeek has slowly, just methodically been doing these trades. And now we're seeing it all come together. And VL's another one that's just like, we didn't make a video on the VL trade.
Who he played for?
No.
What the fuck?
No,
we would never think about that.
That's probably one of so what you guys don't get to see is like when 3 o'clock hits, we have to pick and choose. And like VL gets traded, we're like, we're not.
No.
We're not doing that.
And then look who's become a very important part of knocking off the Edmonton Oilers. So I just think Pat Verbeek, if you're trying to model your current franchise of how do we get good, it's through the way he did it.
But it was very patient.
Yes. And I look at their ownership structure too. He's the GM and the people above him are more just kind of overseeing the whole operation on the business side. Like he doesn't really have a president of hockey operations who's like poking at him to do anything. He's kind of in charge doing all this stuff. Yeah.
The Zegras trade, like I usually, when we talk about Gauthier, I'm like, yeah, well, it evens out with the Zegras trade. Not really.
Two separate trades.
Like Zegras has been incredible for the Flyers. Like
what a great fit.
They win that trade.
Great fit.
They win the trade. But Paling's been incredible for the Ducks, and also added on to that a second and a fourth.
Yeah, they got picks in that.
Great. You
That's
can trade
okay.
those. You can use those. Like, you can do whatever you want. That's great.
They drafted Eric Nilsson with the second. The fourth they haven't even used yet because it's this year.
And I didn't even mention the goaltending in there, recognizing to move off of John Gibson because you have the next one. we have Dostal in our system. We're going to ride with him. Let's go get a bunch of assets from Detroit and use that to bolster everything that when we need to win and we have assets to go get a John Carlson, we've gained that from having John Gibson there and doing that trade.
And he's
really good at this.
They pulled Dostal in game 5 after 3 goals, I think, on 10 shots. And, it was, Quenneville said after the game, it was not just him, it was the whole team. I wanted to shock the team. I got to give credit to Ville Husso to come in, and he did. I know he let in a couple of goals. I mean, that's par for the course in the series. Everybody lets in a lot of goals. Ville Husso was great in that role too. So if you run into a situation where you got to use him again, even in a losing scenario, you still don't feel like you're like, oh, fuck, well, the goalie's out. We might as well give up.
The Ville Husso trade was for future considerations.
And what was the Trouba trade? What was the Kreider trade? It was like a bag of pucks, guys. It was nothing.
Well, here, Jesse. So Jesse said something while you looked that up. He's like, "Oh yeah, you got some assets from Detroit." In my head, I was like, "No, you didn't. That was straight up." I don't know, for some reason, I remembered it as straight up Gibson for Mrazek. It was Gibson for Mrazek, a 4th in 2026, and a 2nd in 2027.
Yeah.
So they've been like,
and where's Mrazek now? Is he just not?
I think he's in the minors. But you.
Finding his post.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, exactly.
You took him on, and you could afford to take him on. Like the Ducks have, part of the reason they've been able to do this is they could afford it, and they made their move.
Mm-hmm.
The Trouba trade was Vakanainen and a 4th to New York for Trouba.
And
what?
The Rangers have used Vakanainen, but it's Trouba.
What about Kreider?
The Kreider?
I've forgotten what that was. So you lose Vakanainen and a 4th. You do that.
That's okay.
You know what pisses me off? When I see a trade like that and I go, what the fuck, man? What do you mean you weren't in on that? What do you mean you didn't pick up the phone and call and do that
No,
deal?
there's 31 other teams
Trouba
that should be like, we stink.
Trouba is not the guy that he was necessarily in Winnipeg or even the guy that he was at his peak in New York, but I really liked him.
He's showing some of it.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's still great.
So there's a little bit of a revisionism here because the Rangers, it was a victory that they were able to get out from under the whole cap hit.
Right.
But the Ducks position themselves as an organization in a way where we could take on a bunch of money.
Yes.
They can take on the $8 million fully of Trouba. There was no retention there. That's why the trade looks so lopsided right now for the Ducks, because they took on the full cap hit.
Yeah.
And they had the cap space because they haven't been good for very long, but they've been slowly building on. And then when you need to add the guys to help them on a playoff run, they have the cap space to do it. And it's like, yeah, we'll take Trouba, who's not an $8 million defenseman, but we have the space to where it doesn't matter if we pay him that much.
And if you're forechecking against the Ducks, okay? Okay, well, I'm going to go after, John Carlson, okay, tall, tough. You know what? You know whose D I'm going to pound?
Whose D are you going to pound?
I'm pounding Jake Trouba. I'm pounding Jackson Lacombe. Huge. Jackson Lacombe's a big boy.
Radko
Gudas. Well, he didn't play much in this series, and I think Ducks fans were thrilled about that. He has not been great.
Adam, that's their captain.
I know, but I think Ducks fans were like, yeah, this isn't the fit anymore.
No, they love him.
Minchikov, hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
He asked for a trade earlier this year. They're not trading him now. And guys like Hines and Hellison, who've kind of come in and were very sort of, you know what I loved about Hines and Hellison? You never noticed them.
Good.
Hey, that's a third pair that doesn't expose you. I'm bored when you're on the ice. Great. Fantastic.
Great.
And Steve, you're asking, or Adam, you're asking about the Kreider trade?
Yeah, what's the Kreider trade?
The Kreider trade was Carey Terrence to New York and a 3rd round pick, and the Ducks got back Kreider and a 4th.
So you gave up Vakanainen, you gave up a 4th, you gave up Carey Terrence, and then you gave up a 3rd, and you got back Trouba, Kreider, and a 3rd and a 2nd and a 4th.
No,
who was the 4th?
I think you added a couple assets there.
Kreider, along with a 4th in 2025.
Okay, so Kreider
to Anaheim for Carey Terrence, and a 3rd round pick in 2025.
And then what was... Oh, okay.
So the Trouba, they didn't get any draft picks back.
Oh, that's
you added those other draft. It's just that 4th Kreider and Trouba.
Dude,
for those.
That's amazing
and
asset management.
Steve, you always bring this up, but that is a GM going back to the well of somebody I did a deal with. You love when you were looking at like the Dubas deals. You remember you always used to do this.
He's got his guys.
Who does Dubas text in his phone when he's going to do a deal? Pat Verbeek's like, I'm going to go back to the Rangers and get another guy from the Rangers because I clearly like how the Trouba deal worked out. Let me go get Kreider.
That was actually, thank you for bringing that up, Jesse. That was an extremely frustrating thing about Brad Treliving. And I kind of forecasted that it was going to be. Dubas was very predictable in who he was going to call. Treliving, throughout his career, even before he came to the Leafs, talked to everyone. And then in Toronto, all he did was talk to everyone and not actually consummate a deal. It was extremely frustrating. Ugh.
Yeah. But there's Pat Verbeek working his Rolodex and using the guys he trusts. And clearly New York has a good relationship and got two really good pieces.
Yeah, he calls Chris Drury and Danny Briere.
Mm-hmm.
Mini side rant. After Treliving got fired, what comes out? He was trying to get so-and-so out of Calgary. You should have been fired the moment you tried. What did I say? And for how long did I say the Calgary Flames are not trading with you, Brad? They're not doing it.
And they never did.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yep.
Oh, you're going to keep trying? Pack your shit.
Brad's one of the issues was like he didn't have guys like that.
No imagination.
He didn't have
no vision.
It sounded like he didn't have relationships with the other presidents and GMs to make trades like that.
Or wouldn't do it.
The note about him just sending out that email blast 30 minutes before the deadline being like, we need a Lawton deal. That sounds like...
It sounds bad, but a lot more it does happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm supposed to read it. I read it and I was like, that sounds bad, so I'm going to take it bad.
No, it's bad that he had to send it at all because the deal should have been done.
Where's the 2 weeks ahead of time?
I know.
What about the Olympic break when they legitimately said, yeah, we'll see how we do? And remember, coming out of the Olympic break, the Leafs were playing the 5 worst teams in the NHL, and they lost all the games. They lost every fucking one of them.
You got great value for Nick Waugh, who you traded ahead of the deadline. Should we take a lesson from this? Surely not.
And
surely not.
Let's not give them too much credit. They fumbled their way into the Nick Waugh deal because the Kadri deal fell apart. That was the Kadri package. It's the
one favor Calgary ever did, Brad.
Max Miller, who's a Sharks beat reporter for Sharks Hockey Digest, said Edmonton's elimination has an effect on the San Jose Sharks. If one of the Mammoth or Ducks make it to the conference final, the Sharks will pick 19th. If Vegas makes it, they'll pick 20th. And that is from the Jake Wallman Detroit trade.
Oh my goodness.
Which was a cap dump.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Greer. Some poetry snaps there.
I don't know.
My guy, Mike Greer. Holy shit.
I think
Verbeek and Greer, man. GMs of the year.
Death Valley might be returning here.
Oh, yeah. Well, not in LA.
No, maybe not. No,
two-thirds.
Well, there's a big change of the guard happening there.
Sure.
I think it's still a destination people want to go to.
Quentin Byfield's going to be the captain now, not Doughty?
Know. Well,
I didn't hear that.
Doughty has played 14,000 games.
Well, that's why I thought he should be captain for one season. Just give it to him.
But he won't be there for a very long time.
No, he won't.
And Kopitar's gone, and I don't like to think this way because obviously Kopitar's still an extremely good player. Made a lot of money.
Yeah. Yep.
Now we have a chance to spend it elsewhere. What's that going to be? I don't know. You got to make some good choices. Stop spending it on mediocre defensemen. Death Valley. San Jose's going to be there. Anaheim's currently there.
If you were Stan Bowman today, what would you put in your aura frame?
Memories from my time in Edmonton.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, the great thing about Aura Frames is there's free unlimited storage, as many photos and videos as you want. You could preload it before it even ships. And remember, the app for Aura, it was so popular on Christmas Day, it went to #1 in the App Store.
That's cool.
Which is incredible. These frames are actually just awesome. It's one of the favorite things we've ever talked about on this show. Your mother has one. Your mother-in-law has one, Jesse. And you can also personalize your gift so you can add a message to it before it arrives, named number 1 by Wirecutter. That's the New York Times. They know what they're talking about.
I've been loading it up with pictures of my puppy Max.
There you go. You could save on gifts for mom by visiting auraframes.ca. Mother's Day is coming up, just a heads up. For a limited time, listeners can get $25 off their best-selling Carver mat frame with the code SDP. That's Aura, A-U-R-A, frames.ca, promo code SDP, and show support for the show by mentioning us at checkout. Pretty please. Terms and conditions apply. We have, by the way, as of 40 minutes ago, the finalists for the Jack Adams. Can Jesse and Steve name them?
Finalists for the Jack Adams. Let's go with Rick Bonus.
You're giving me 3.
Rick Bonus.
And Jesse's going to give me 3.
Now I'm trying to think of all of them. Who are the guys that we talked about?
Well, I think you would need to look at the Jack Adams the way we always
Can I go?
Yeah, please.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go the man who should win, Lindy Ruff.
Mm-hmm.
The man with the most surprising season, Dan Muse. And thirdly, it's probably it's going to be one of Tocchet or Cooper. They'll probably go with Mr. Lawyer himself, John Cooper.
I'm going to say Tocchet, Ruff, and I think it's going to be received extremely poorly, Quenneville.
A good thing, but I think the NHL would be like, yeah, even if we did want to nominate him, we're not nominating him. And they didn't. Jesse nailed it.
Oh, nice.
Cooper, Muse, and Ruff.
Oh, they went with Cooper? Fuck that. I think it's ridiculous that the guy in your division who beat you and people are voting for Cooper? That's ridiculous.
Is this going to be his Revenant?
That's ridiculous.
This is like probably the 5th or 6th best season he's coached.
Yeah.
And he might get his first Jack Adams.
What is he winning for?
It's Revenant. It's 2 elite regular seasons in a row. That's what it is. I mean, and they're down 3-2. But again, we only judge them on the regular season.
Yes.
It's hard to argue the last 2 years. He does deserve one.
It's not about the last 2 years.
But it's going to Lindy.
It should.
Lindy's going to get
100%.
It can't go to Muse. It can't. Because the Sabres came further than the Penguins did. Like, as bad as the Penguins were the last couple of years, the Sabres were way worse.
Oh, came from, further back. Yeah.
It's crazy Lindy Ruff's still coaching.
It's crazy.
And he's nominated
for he finished the year. Yeah. Like, when we were talking about them in the beginning of the year, we were like, what, we give him 20, 30 games?
Jesse, if you put $5 of legal tender on Lindy Ruff to win the Jack Adams before the season began, how big would your house be?
I don't know what the odds were. I don't know if I can find it. Maybe I can find that.
They should have been 45,000 to 1.
He probably would have had one of the least odds. Dan Muse, the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, he probably would have been down there.
What odds would have been better? Lindy Ruff to win the Jack Adams or Lindy Ruff to be the first coach fired?
First coach fired. Yeah.
I would have taken first coach fired.
Shorter odds on that one.
You guy's probably going to win the Jack Adams. Has he ever won the Jack Adams?
Who's this?
Lindy Ruff. He's been around forever.
You know what? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Ruff.
He's had like 2 careers.
That's true.
I'm just looking. I don't think he has.
Hockey DB.
No, he did. 05-06.
Really?
Sabres. Yeah. So he might. This is the 5th time he's been nominated as a finalist. And he did win with the 05-06 Sabres, who were a very good team.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
His first nomination in he won it 20 years ago.
It took a season for him to really set in, but he got them playing right.
Man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, I've seen them be good for this long, and I still can't believe it.
At that age, too, you have to think that there's been a lot of like, some coaches come in and out, and they have a fantastic moment in the sun, 5 to 7 years max, and then they're gone. Guy like Lindy Ruff, guy like Paul Maurice, I would put John Cooper in this because John Cooper's been the coach there for at least 10 years, maybe more. I don't even remember when he got hired. You think about, these decades-long coaches and how many transitions in their communication style, their coaching, the rule changes, like all the things that Lindy Ruff was coaching pre-cap, pre-salary cap.
What was Lindy Ruff's first coaching job in the NHL? What year?
Well, I know he was coaching Buffalo late 90s, so it's got to be mid 90s.
I'll give you this. His first job in the NHL was as assistant coach,
which it should be,
with the Florida Panthers.
Oh, in their inaugural year?
I think it might have been
like 95, 96?
It was 93, 94. Was his first year.
I was 6 years old. So were you.
Like when you talk about an NHL lifer.
Yeah.
His NHL career began in 79-80. It began the year, that was Gretzky's rookie season. He played 691 games plus another 52 in the
I would
playoffs.
bet that most people didn't know he was an NHL player.
Yeah, and he played nearly 700 games. And
for who, Steve? Who the fuck was he playing for?
Almost exclusively the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
And then 3 little seasons with the Rangers at the end.
So he exclusively was in New York State.
I guess. In Florida for a little bit.
No, in terms of
in terms of playing, yeah. Played for the Rochester Americans and then the San Diego Gulls in 92, 93 before.
By the way, we got to give the Gulls credit because they've been the San Diego Gulls a long time, and that's impressive in the AHL.
It is.
It actually is very impressive.
They were in the IHL.
Oh, wow. That's throwing it back. The International Hockey League. Come on.
This guy, he played in the WCHL. Dude, he's a hockey lifer. He's 66, and that doesn't seem old enough.
No,
for how long he's been around.
I'm surprised. He's a better part of a decade younger than Bettman.
He's been involved in the NHL our entire lives.
That's crazy. Good for him.
Our entire lives.
He's looking like he's going to be a 50-year guy here soon.
Yeah, without a gap. So he played before we were born, kept playing the moment we were born, and immediately went from pro player to pro coach. He's been in the NHL for our entire lives
I wouldn't mind him winning.
I don't think there was a gap.
I think it's such a great story. This is a guy who had his name, chanted in New Jersey, Fire Lindy, Fire Lindy.
He's had an NHL coaching job every single year that he's been a coach. There's no gaps in his resume.
He didn't have to explain that.
He's 93, 94 through 96, 97 with the Panthers. Goes straight to head coach of the Buffalo Sabres from 1997 to 2013. Immediately goes to head coach of the Dallas Stars 2014 to 2017. Immediately goes to assistant coach with the Rangers 2017 to 2020. Then goes to the Devils 2020 to 2024. And now he's back with the Sabres. I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
I have odds for you guys. Beginning of the season, 25-26 Jack Adams Award winner odds. Can you tell me who had the worst odds to win?
Lindy Ruff.
No.
Who had the worst? Paul Maurice. He was coaching the Leafs that year.
31st.
31st?
No, 25-26. Like this beginning of this, he wasn't coaching the Leafs.
Sorry, I thought you said 05-06.
No, 25-26 this season. Paul Maurice was 31st in his odds because coming off a Stanley Cup, even if they have a good season,
Berube.
he's not going to win, right?
Gotta be Berube.
So
no, Berube was 28th, 55-1.
Why can't I remember the name of the coach of the Blackhawks? They fired so many guys.
Blashill?
No, it's not Blash.
That's who's.
It is Blash.
Yeah,
I'll say
but that's not correct.
Vancouver.
It was actually
Canucks
22
coach Adam Foote.
No, I'll give it to you.
Gripper
Spencer
Nation.
Carberry.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I guess because they
won.
They regressed a lot
Because they won the. Did they not win the President's Trophy?
Yes.
Last year? Or that was Winnipeg.
No, Winnipeg, but they were second.
They're up there in the East.
They were really, really good.
There's nowhere to go up. That's the whole thing about the stupid award.
Yes.
If you were already good, you're not going to win it.
That's why Cooper's never won.
Exactly.
We always expected the Lightning to be good.
So with that, John Cooper had terrible odds to win the trophy this year. He was actually near the bottom. He was 50-1 to win the trophy. That is the 7th worst odds. He's right up there. He's right back there with Rod Brindamore and Glenn Gulletson and Bruce Cassidy.
So where the hell's Lindy?
Lindy is, let me count down. He's about middle of the pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So 11, I put down $2
12.
for John Cooper. I won $100.
What did I say? 50-1? Yeah. 25-1 was Lindy Ruff.
Wow.
12th worst odds.
Wow.
That's
both
not
best odds.
Those odds are too good.
Quenneville, Torigny. Torigny. Is that how he spells it?
Torigny.
Picture last name. Torigny. Martin St. Louis, Dean Evanson, and Mike Sullivan. Those are the top 5.
Evanson got fired.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was 12-1, 4th best odd. 16-1 actually, 5th best odd. So there you go.
Yeah, what Lindy's done is friggin'. It's crazy.
Would have been nice to see Tocchet get a nominee.
I think Flyers fans, who, fresh off of celebrating advancing to the second round, would be legitimately upset.
It would be nice to see him in that top 3, but I get why they're doing Cooper. I just disagree. And bonus, I think because they flamed out, you can't give him that.
No.
Yeah. That you can't. You can't. BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League and has everything you need on action on the ice. And there's 3 mega important games tonight, 3 game 6s. And by the way, game 1 of the second round starts Saturday.
Yes.
Before potentially the game 7s from these series. So Jesse, what did you want to do? You wanted to do scores tonight?
No, I want your 3 picks. I want to see if any of you guys can go 3 for 3. It's Utah, Vegas, Boston, Buffalo, Tampa, Montreal.
Okay.
Those 3 games, you got to pick a winner in each, just straight up. Who wins the game?
I'll start. Mammoth win. It's going to go to game 7.
That's 7, yep.
Sabres win. Series over.
Done, yeah.
Lightning win because of the Lightning. It's got that series deserves a game 7 more than any series. It needs to go to game 7. Those are my picks.
I'm mad at you.
Steve. You're going to have to miss hockey. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I hate it.
Oh.
My team's good, and they need me to be there to be bad. Even it out. I'm going to say Utah forces 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, both you guys on Utah.
Boston forces 7.
No.
Montreal wraps it up.
Wow. All right.
I'm going to go Montreal, Boston, Vegas.
Okay, so you think 2 game 7s.
I'd be happy because that would confirm Vegas in 6.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens this weekend. All of us had different picks, and you can too. The BetMGM app has improved its lineup this season to include instant withdrawals, data insights, and a brand new rewards hub. You should download the BetMGM app today and enjoy the NHL like never before. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 18 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. And BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. I wanted to mention this. You think you have it bad as a Leaf fan.
I do.
Well, and you do. But Friedman dropped an absolute just monster bomb on 32 Thoughts, and I thought this is the state of affairs in Vancouver. Yes, they could get McKenna or Veerhoff or Stenberg or whatever.
Carroll's,
yeah. But the Canucks apparently asked to speak to Tom Fitzgerald, who is the New Jersey castoff. And Fitzgerald said, no, thanks. I'm focused on the Nashville job.
Oh,
I was like, oh no. That, buddy, nobody wants to work.
You know what?
Because you know what I think? I think Rutherford put Alvin on blast and basically torched the guy on the way out. And I don't think anybody wants to work for Jim Rutherford right now. Like, let's call it what it is. The whispers are out there. I think Sarah Volley had a pretty big rant about Jim Rutherford, but what he said has been echoed by many people. Whatever he was in Carolina, whatever he was in Pittsburgh, extremely successful. Something's changed there. And there's a trust gap.
Is what
to put it corporately.
Is what's changed that he's working for like the worst owner in the league?
Yeah, is it that nobody wants to work for Rutherford, or is it nobody wants to work for Aquilini and Rutherford's doing Aquilini's bidding?
I think both are true. Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. And I think the fact that what I think people are upset about is Rutherford was brought in there to manage up because he's been able to do that before. He worked for Tom Dundon. Tom Dundon's a difficult guy. He is. And he would be the first one to be like, yeah, I'm fucking difficult, man. Rutherford could manage him, right? Pittsburgh Penguins ownership situation, a little less so. That was when Mario owned it. Like, that
was a good situation.
They were demanding, but but this was supposed to be Rutherford's thing. He's supposed to be the Aquilini soother. And it sounds like Rutherford and Aquilini are like this, but if you want to work for them, you're going to be the guy that they throw tomatoes at.
Aquilini is a complete wild card. He seems like he is unstable in his whatever management he's doing with his team, and he's running the organization into the ground from the very top, and there's no one above him.
Canucks fans on the stream last night, like, because I have a bunch of them just tuning in because they were there for the Oilers downfall
and the time zone.
Yeah, at times. Yeah, but they're like, yeah, well, if we can't win, fuck the Oilers, right? You know, like that. So
you know what?
And Flames fans too. Flames fans were pretty pumped last night, but they were saying, they're like, listen, like, why would anybody want to come here? We can't even put together a practice rink.
Can we play a game?
And
how old was Jim Rutherford when man first landed on the moon?
So man first landed on the moon, it was 67 or 68.
July 1969.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I had to look.
Rutherford would be 20?
He was exactly 20 years old.
Oh, I nailed it. Hey, total guess.
He watched the first ever moon landing as an adult man.
Are you saying it's time?
He's 77.
Go
find a beach.
When is the new kid with some podcast equipment going to be like, Steve Dangle watched Artemis as a 40-year-old man?
They already are.
And he's yelling into his camera about the Leafs. What does this old Dangle Artemis guy know?
When are those? They already are.
When are we going to get the kids making those videos?
Stephen A. Smith is doing the same bit, just a little bit more hot takey, I think. A lot more hot takey.
Yeah.
And Stephen A. Smith is ageless. You can do that forever. You can do.
I don't know.
You can do what grinds my gears forever.
I'm excited to watch those kids.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Steve Dangle, man, everyone calling the 38-year-old old is gonna have a hard time.
Steve was there when Matthews was drafted.
Steve was doing he did a podcast 10 years before AI arrived.
You see that guy up in the banner? Steve saw him play in real life. He saw Matt Sundin and Doug Gilmour and Wendell Clark in real life.
The black and white banner.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know the statue on Legends Row?
Yeah.
You've seen like 3 of those guys play hockey. What an old fart that Dangle is.
Steve saw goalies with save percentages above 900, which is starting to feel nostalgic.
Yeah, which isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah, man.
They're going to come out with some new stick. It's not going to be carbon fiber anymore. It's going to be something else. And be like, oh, those guys watch hockey with carbon fiber sticks.
Still, nothing beats Lou Lamoriello was born during the Battle of Stalingrad. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats that, and he's still at games.
Yeah. So, anyways, Rutherford and Aquilini are a mess.
And
Cliff Fletcher is older than ice cream.
And no, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, ice cream was invented in like China 2,000 years ago. No, he's not.
No,
he's not.
What are you referencing?
I don't know. I feel like we looked it up.
Maybe
once.
Commercially produced ice cream potentially.
Maybe that's good enough.
Ice cream existed.
Like when did Breyers? But like, what are you talking about?
Being old enough to be born before
Ben and
the
Jerry.
ability to purchase ice cream is insane.
I don't even think that's true.
I don't think that's true at all.
I'm looking it up.
This was, so this building we were in, do you know that this was a snack shop in the 20s and 30s, this building?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, one of the many iterations that this building that we're in.
Why isn't it still?
It was like where you went for a soda and you went for you got it like a float. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. There's ice cream in a float. And that was in the 2020s, Steve.
And also anti-communist propaganda.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
No, ice cream was invented in the 70s. You know
what? Okay, I'm looking it up.
I believe it was sliced bread, though.
Maybe it was
He did predate sliced bread.
Yeah, but like bread's been around.
Bread's been around,
forever.
but pre-sliced bread.
Yeah, but sliced bread. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so Wikipedia says it was first sold in 1928. Folks, we're close. 1928. And Cliff Fletcher was born 1935.
Not quite. All right, so
it was like a new thing.
It was pretty new.
A couple of things.
That's what his parents told him. We never used to have this. Sorry.
A couple of things I want to mention. First off, during the Flyers fans are so tough. Philly fans are tough. So the Flyers in their game 6 brought the Phillies out and said, welcome, your Philadelphia Phillies, and the Flyers fans booed them.
They booed them in an elimination playoff game.
When it was 0-0, that they won in overtime.
Yeah, but did they deserve it?
Well,
looking at the standings, they're 12-19 so far this year. 9.5 games already back at the Atlanta Braves. Boo that team. Fuck them. I'm on the Flyers fan side.
Flyers fans, they're nuts,
Fuck
man.
the Philly.
You know what? No. Sorry, I just got to get into character as the most exhausting person on the internet. I don't know how a pro athlete signs in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They're fans.
I think they're okay.
They're going to drive them out of town.
Philadelphia is a tough place to play if things aren't going well. It is. But when it's great. God. Look at Porter Martone probably will never be able to buy a drink himself in that town ever again. No. And he just started.
Until he goes in a slump and then they're like, Porter, you pay double.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Like that's what it is, man.
Steve, what are you going to do when your favorite player on earth, Joel Embiid, leads a dramatic comeback against the Boston Celtics, which is happening right now? I don't know if you're tuned into NBA playoffs, but they were down. He comes back from his injury. And now they are coming back from 3-1. They forced game 7. And you hate what Joel Embiid is to sports.
Yes. But yeah, he's a disgraceful flopper. He's awful. But he would do it at the cost of humiliating a Boston sports team.
Yes. Are you conflicted?
I wish the series was 15 games.
The sun would explode.
Yeah, let them fight. Yeah. Let them fight. No, Embiid can have this one as long as he's humiliated the next round.
The Philly sports is having a moment.
Oh yeah,
the two teams right now in the playoffs, like they're about to tear down the town. Philly might not exist in a week's time if both of these two teams do something special in the playoffs.
They've been through worse than this. Jesse, you ever heard of the Liberty Bell? Sorry, I'm just trying to get into character as the parking attendant at Philly. What are you, nuts?
I want to ask you guys something. DK Pittsburgh Sports, is covering the locker cleanup for the Pittsburgh Penguins today. I almost said Pirates. Mm-hmm. And Geno Malkin admitted that he had spoken to Dubas yesterday, but there has been no offer and no negotiations. And he was asked, hey, man, you want to play next year, even if it's not for the Penguins? He said, yep. Letang then said, you just want to keep it going. It's all you know, when he talks about the uncertainty around Malkin's future. What do we think? Are you prepared for a Geno Malkin playing somewhere else? Or do you think they ultimately just get this done?
You shouldn't do it. Sign the guy.
So,
because I don't think he's going to want a discount. He put together a good year.
You ever just see a toxic couple? I don't know if they're toxic as individuals, but they're toxic as a couple.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a bad mix.
No. But they stay together.
Some people stay together for the hatred. Yes.
That's their dynamic and it works. Listen, I'm not approving any of this.
Uh-huh.
You ever see a couple fight and you're like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
But you ever see a couple fight and you're like, they do this all the time. They do this all the time.
They do this all the time. You're right.
Malkin and the Penguins, they do this all the time.
You're right.
They're going to be fine.
Malkin had 61 points in 56 games. That's a Pavelski signing. If he goes elsewhere, somebody should jump in.
They do this all the time. Mm-hmm. They do this all the time.
Okay. So
you'd be justified.
Yeah, and the contract he's making this year is $6.1 million. It's not like we're talking about him wanting to make 10. Yeah. He's going to make $6 million. Just give him $6 million.
If I remember,
second line center.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the last time it was really tumultuous and it lasted a while. And it was Sid literally going, Geno. And Geno goes, fine. And then he signs his deal.
Burke and Hextall.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Geno, fine. And then he signs and goes, I am score. And he is score.
And I am kill you.
I am kill you.
Yeah.
I am slash you in the head. I am unhinged.
Crosby's contract expires at the end of next season.
So maybe one more year?
That is what then we get into we got to do a farewell party.
How many years of Letang?
Letang still got 2 years after this. But I could see both guys ring up till the end of Letang's maybe.
Why not?
Maybe Malkin signs for the 1 year and then him and Crosby retire together, or they both re-up till the end of Letang and then they all go out together.
The end is coming for the Penguins, but they're loaded with draft picks. So I feel like they're going to be able to figure this out. The key is who's the next game breaker for them. And it might be Ben Kindle, but I don't know. That's just one guy.
That's one. You need more.
Yeah.
What do you guys do on July 31st?
Well, usually that's right around our last show of the season.
Well, we got to do something to celebrate Evgeny Malkin's 40th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still Geno.
Extremely effective.
He's still Geno, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no. What we were talking about last summer, my view of the Penguins is completely different than it was a year ago, because that was a shambolic team that just needs to get value for their guys so that they can suck now and build for the future. Now, even though they weren't very good in the playoffs, they made the playoffs. They had a good season. Why wouldn't you sign Malkin?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. What's the holdup?
Yeah, I think you just do it. You just do it. And also, like, does it hurt to have a guy like that around for the young guys that you have bringing up? Like, you're going to have McGordy probably in the lineup next year, and some of the other guys that they have in their system. Their system's gotten a lot better under Dubas. Wes Clark's done a good job.
Dude, you have, okay, he made 6.1. You could give him 7, I think, without batting an eye for the numbers that he put up.
As I said, Pavelski deal, but it's like 1 or 2 years. And at 40 years old, you should be on rolling 1-year deals.
Yes.
You can't commit to somebody for 2 years unless, and even Crosby was 38 when he signed his extension. You can't, at 40, 1 year is the max you're going to get, and that's okay.
Born 1986. He's one of the oldest players.
Older than us. That's insane.
There's not a lot left. It's less than 20.
There's one thing I want to do before we get to the Leafs, unless Jesse, you got something there. Penguins related?
No, it's just you gotta call up the Toronto Maple Leafs, who love signing Chris Tanev till he's like 42.
I know. He's going to retire at some point, and there are LTIR.
The Chris Tanev, who's currently 36, I don't know when his birthday is. He might be turning 37 this year. Is signed till 2030.
So he's going to be what, 41, 42?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, so just a memorabilia question for you guys.
Chris Tanev, December 20th.
The winning bid on Wayne Gretzky's last jersey as an Oilers player, which would have been the Stanley Cup winning game, that jersey.
1988.
That's right. Just sold for how much? Because remember, it's hockey.
So game worn.
Game worn, Gretzky jersey, right before the trade to LA, Stanley Cup win against, I believe, who was that against? It was a weird one.
I don't remember.
Coffee was already gone.
I'll say $250,000.
$250,000, which is a lot for hockey memorabilia.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I think it's north of $1 million. I'd say $2 million.
2.8.
Hey. Holy shit!
American dollars.
For a hockey jersey?
Yep.
That's how you know Wayne's Wayne.
The jersey was photo matched to 2 Stanley Cup games. The photo matched to 2 Stanley Cup Finals games. That's how they were able to authenticate it. I want to know how the person selling it got it. I got to know how you got it. Like, that's a story I would want to know.
Yeah.
How the fuck you end up with that? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get it and it was yours to sell? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could see someone just teefing it. but like, is it yours?
Well, I think they have to, before it goes to auction, they have to verify that you didn't steal it.
Right.
So.
Holy.
Yeah.
You said 2.8 million American.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Hockey on the rise again, man. In the States.
Hockey on the rise, yes, but I don't think people understand how insane that is for a piece of hockey memorabilia.
Yeah. I remember they were selling like George Vesna's pads a few years ago, and it was like $300,000.
No, so that was a controversy. I think it was, I don't remember what brand it was, but they bought George Vesna's pads and they cut them up to put them into cards.
Oh, I hate that.
And people were like, no!
Yeah, no, that's dumb. You should never have done that. Okay.
It's also the second highest sale for a jersey ever. That same jersey. Because the previous record was $1.45 million for a jersey, which was the same jersey that was sold in June of 2022.
So they made $1.5 million basically in 4 years?
Yeah, so they were able to, they bought it then. I don't know who the actual person is who's doing these transactions, but they bought it then. It was sold for $1.452 million.
Whoa.
And in this time period, they were able to photo match the jersey to a couple different events. So they said he didn't only just wear it in those games. They were able to conclude that he wore it in games 1 and 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, as well as a game earlier in March 1st, 1988, where he got his 1,050th career assist, passing Gordie Howe for the NHL career league.
That's crazy.
So they got the jersey, they bought it, and then in the meantime, from 22 to 2026, they were able to make it more valuable by connecting it to more Gretzky
and what's crazy is
That's
back
cool.
then, they wore Oilers jerseys, or everybody wore jerseys the whole season. It was just the jersey you had. Now it's like, well, every couple of games, they're switching it out and whatever.
They're auctioning it.
Yeah. So that's crazy. So imagine this is your job. Okay. Your job. What do you guys, hey, you're on a date. What do you do for a living? I photo match That's what I specialize in. So you're looking, I would assume, for imperfections.
Yeah.
And you're trying to see if those imperfections happened during the season that it was worn.
Yes. So that service, they were able to, that's a 93% increase because of the photo matching process in 4 years, just under.
Wow. And these are photos from the 80s.
Yeah.
They're not exactly high def.
And you have to verify them. You have to verify that the photo was taken by which photographer. And that is a crazy gig.
That's cool.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Wow.
It's really tough this time of year keeping a schedule, especially with all the hockey to watch. And so what if you could have your lunch and your dinner taken care of in 2 minutes? Tempo. All right. You got meetings, you got errands, you got late nights, you got kids, and they got to go to activities. Swimming and soccering and whatever else, maybe t-ball, whatever it is.
They all kind of have the same activities. All these little kids running around.
Yeah. And it's just, it's like, well, it's only an hour, but really it's an hour to get there and an hour to get home. And it's all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second, what happened to my night?
Well, how do I eat?
Tempo Meals. Listen, you're going to get new recipes every single week. Real food, real fast. No sad desk lunches. No sad dinners either. 20 new recipes every single week. Nutrient-rich ingredients. We've already told you, Maria Sharapova swears by it, and you will too. For a limited time, Tempo is offering our listeners 60% off your first box. So go to tempomeals.com/SDP. That is Tempo, TEMPO, meals.com/SDP for 60% off your first box. Tempomeals.com/SDP. Rules and restrictions apply. Now on the Leafs, let's talk a little Leafs.
Then we gotta go.
Just real quick here. Nothing yet, but we're assuming that it's going to be Mats and John Chayka, as everybody else is. Worth noting, I was reminded of a story yesterday that is public. That when John Chayka left Arizona, Jesse.
Yeah,
Jesse knows what I'm about to go here.
I pre-laughed.
So Bill Armstrong gets brought into, this is reported, so this is out there.
Okay.
Bill Armstrong gets brought into the office.
Oh, this.
And John Chayka had cleared everything out, but Bill Armstrong walks in and there are monitors in like a semicircle all across the desk. And Bill goes, well, this is kind of great. So he tries to log into the computer and only one of the monitors is working. And he's trying to work the other monitor, whatever. So he talks to the tech guy in Arizona. It's good that they had one.
Sure. I'm surprised.
I'm surprised too. Yeah. It's like, no, figure it out yourself. We're the Coyotes. But the tech guy came in, the engineer or whatever, and said, oh yeah, none of those monitors work. They're just frozen screenshots of Cap Friendly, and they are there for the show. So the report was that only the monitor in front of him worked and that the other monitors were just, listen, I want to say this.
Oh my God, bro.
If you're a Leaf fan, the way this search has gone down, I'll just tell you, around the league, people we're talking to, everybody is pointing out how embarrassing this is. Now, again, we say, and we said this last show, we're open to this going well. If it goes well, great. But right now, around the league, people are looking at the Leafs and going, oh my God, this is embarrassing.
So I have a little intel there. I over the last 72 hours or so, I think because of the last show that we did.
Yep.
I have never been inundated with messages on the same topic from people inside hockey the way I have about Chayka. Ever. The people currently in NHL front offices, people formerly in NHL front offices, people who cover this team in Toronto, people who cover other teams around the league, people who text me all the time, people who very rarely text me, people who never text me. All of them have Chayka stuff, and they all think this is the biggest joke ever. Last night was the first conversation I had with someone who's like, here's why this might be okay.
Can I ask what they said? Because I'm hanging on to my fingernails here, man.
There are, the good was still wrapped in bad, or maybe it's bad wrapped in good. Like there are some, you know how not every GM deals with every GM? There are some GMs who will not take this person's call. Like, wow. They won't, if John Chayka is calling, they won't answer the phone.
That's insane.
like in the league.
So that's a respect thing.
Yeah.
That's a respect thing.
Well,
that's I have no respect for.
Well, like one of the negative things that I was told, I mean, he got the job at 26. He's now 36 or 37. It's difficult to get there without shivving someone. On the way up.
Yep.
And as a result, like there's, I think, at least 2 GMs who like won't answer his phone.
Wow.
I will say this. I believe that the connections, everybody's talking about how Ty Domi's orchestrated this. I believe that completely.
Yeah.
I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, Max Domi lived with John Chayka when he lived in London.
Yeah.
Playing for the Knights.
Ty Domi's, I'll just be honest, like his involvement scares the daylights out of me. I don't think that's a good idea at all. I don't think that's healthy for anyone. But with Chayka, sorry, I did tease something good here. Brad wasn't able to pull anything off. Right? So there's a friendly guy who is so well regarded around the league, talks to everyone, wasn't able to do a damn thing. And he's sending emails at the 11th hour going, can someone please take Scott Lawton? You know, and
please
stuff
help
like
me.
that. Yeah. And then there's John Chayka, who a lot of people around the league, old school analytics, all those guys, very few of these people like him, right? But if you go and look at his resume, he was a mover and a shaker. Mm-hmm. Like,
and not just in hockey, like he's been very successful in business too.
Okay, fine. And like, that's good. And like people bring that up, but like,
listen, I'm trying to go.
No, I'm
not trying to be Mr. Negativity about this because again, it has to play out. But
because negativity is the easy thing to do here.
100%. And what I will not do this time, guys. I did this with Treliving, and I own this.
Yeah,
I thought, and I think I'm still right, but I thought in Calgary, a lot of this was ownership and Don Maloney, getting in the way, and it was.
Yeah,
but that also doesn't mean that Brad was good. And so, as much as we can say, well, he was on a team with limited resources, they had a fixed or unfixed ownership situation. I'm sure the owners changed like 3 times while he was there.
Right.
And whatever. The reality of it is that he got in big shit when he left, and then he interviewed for a job. And I think the Coyotes also messed this up too. He interviewed for the Devils job when he was already employed by the Coyotes. The Coyotes apparently said, yeah, you can go interview for it. And then they said, no, you can't. And then it was so like, and that fits with the Coyotes at the time. But I will not give him a pass for that regardless.
No.
Until such time as you prove it. And I'm open to you proving it. I'm dying for you to prove it and be great. I talked to somebody yesterday and they're like, listen, Toronto fans are torching this Chayka move. Yeah. And they said, we understand why, because nobody trusts Keith Pelly. Let's just call it what it is.
No one should.
Keith Pelly,
based on what?
The only good thing, I think, the only way Keith Pelly comes out of this not looking like a goof, at least in this initial hiring, is he hires a steady hand, like a Mike Gillis, a Doug Armstrong, whatever. People go, well, I guess I can understand why he defaulted to that. Now, that comes with its own challenges. Gillis was out for a long time. Doug Armstrong has not assembled a rockin' team in St. Louis, let's be honest. But, Pelly coming in here and then taking a risk like this is an enormous, and basically what he's done is he's going to take an enormous risk on Chayka, but he's going to try to cover it, bringing Matt Sundin in and giving it credence.
The analogy I saw on Twitter was, hey, you ever give a dog medicine by wrapping it in cheese? Sundin's the cheese.
Yeah. And I think Matt's will have a lot to give here. Like, people are like, well, he doesn't have any management experience. And listen, I'm the first one to say that.
Sure.
But I think Matt's will bring standards and passion. Like, I don't know that you will find a guy who loves the Toronto Maple Leaf crest as a former player more than Matt's did. And he was so mad at the organization for even suggesting that they might trade him at the end of his career, that he didn't have any contact with them for 15 years. That's how much he loved being a Leaf.
And again, in his book, Home and Away, which is fantastic. You should read it anyway, but with
Matt's coming in.
Coming in, you should definitely read it. You find out so much about his life. It's like 9 or 10 chapters in before he even
Yeah.
Like starts playing pro hockey.
Well, so the person I was talking to said, listen, you guys, I understand why Leaf fans are reacting this way, but you're wrong. And this person fully believes that Chayka is going to come in and do a good job. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Can I finish?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So the 07-08 Leafs, he talks about like coming into the room and like flipping a table and being like, we only get so many cracks at this and I believe in this group. And he wanted the team to add to the 07-08 Leafs.
Bad team.
So I love his passion per 60. Oh, blue and white through the veins. I love it. Also, talent evaluation. I don't know.
I mean, when you're a player, it's a little different.
It is a little different. And with Chayka, I can't remember if I actually got to saying this. Brad's fatal flaw was like knocking on every friggin' door and coming up with nothing, going almost a calendar year between trades. That will not be the case with John Chayka. So
no, he'll move.
If you want someone to make trades, this guy's going to make trades.
I do want that. I do want that.
I'm not going to lie. That is not unappealing to me. I like that.
So the Ty Domi part of this that I've heard from a few people is that now the full court press at MLSE is to keep Nylander and Matthews. And that's the first time I've heard any whiff of Nylander being a guy. And to be honest with you, when we talk about what I mean by it like that is a flight risk. The Matthews question to this point has always been for me pretty straightforward. He finished his 10th year this year. 9 of those 10 years, they put him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it'd be awfully shitty of him to go, well, F you guys, first sign of trouble. I'm the captain, but I'm out of here.
Right.
Okay. You can understand why Quinn Hughes did it. He made the playoffs like once, right? After a while, you go, this just isn't going to happen. With Austin, they got 2 more years. And if they're not winning by this time next year, at least in the playoffs, we're starting to hear that he's gone. And I think that everybody kind of understands and rationalizes that the Leafs would have to make a trade. You can't lose him for nothing the way you did with Marner. You can't. So now, Max Domi and Austin apparently are very good friends. It's going to be on Ty and Mats and whoever else comes in to show him and convince him to stay. And that's apparently a very big priority for Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment is retaining Matthews and Nylander.
I mean, that's nuts. That's nuts. So like one thing that's been brought up is like the conflict of interest having Ty and Max. Like I don't think that's a thing. Like
I don't think that's a thing.
If you look around the NHL, there's plenty of father, son, uncle, nephew, whatever.
Bit of a family business that way.
But the fact that they're like tag teaming the duties to keep Austin, I think is nuts. And like
they're gonna have to sell him on this.
If Max Domi's name was not Max Domi, it would sound completely ridiculous that we'd be like, yep, that's the guy who's going to help keep Austin here. What are we doing? That's an effective middle 6 winger. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's the guy who heading into last season, I was like, him on Austin's wing, that's okay until they figure out a better solution.
Mm-hmm.
Now it appears to just be
that's what they're doing.
What they're doing going forward.
Yep.
And that's not good enough.
Yep.
Like I'm here to tell you it's not good enough.
Jesse, how do you feel about your first incoming interview press scrum with a GM who's basically your age?
John Chayka. I think what's very transparent is that Keith Pelly doesn't know what he's doing. And he's at least admitting it by bringing in a bunch of people that he thinks he should trust, and they're helping him make this decision. It's just a matter of the people that he is entrusted to trust is, I think, where the question comes. It's Hamza Tarani is his right-hand man who's an executive there at Rogers. He's been through this whole interview process. He's been right there with him. He has a friend that he met through golf who's a hockey player back in the day. He's really trusted his mind. And Ty Domi, and that's one of the other guys he's really trusting through this process. And Ty brought in Mats to help them oversee this whole thing, and eventually through the process, Mats evolved into signing on for an executive role. And it all comes back to Pelly and a matter of is it good that Rogers has entrusted him with the keys to the organization, and the people that Pelly has surrounded himself with, are they the right guys to choose the path for the Leafs? And I don't think the team is going to be 32nd in the league next year.
No.
There's enough pieces where they will stay afloat good enough. So it really doesn't matter who's in that GM spot in that regard. But if you're talking about building a championship, this doesn't sound like they are building a dynasty here correctly in the right way from the top down. Yeah. From ownership to who ownership is trusting to who the guy that ownership has put there to build it, who he's trusting to who those guys are going to come in. It's strange that you have given the keys to one of the greatest franchises in the NHL to Matt Sundin, who is all-time great, respect him immensely as a hockey person, but as someone who has not lived in North America since he has played in the NHL, and we can't expect has kept up with the game that entire time.
Please don't make me resent Matt.
Zero executive experience, zero experience building a hockey team, zero experience that we know of keeping up with the game. And then John Chayka, who was exiled from the league 6 years ago and has not worked in the league in that whole time, and who a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about. It's odd that those are the two individuals that one of the greatest franchises we have entrusted the keys for the next evolution of
and the key piece of the Rogers purchase of Maple Leaf Sports. Let's be honest,
they're most valuable. The Raptors might.
Raptors are probably actually more valuable.
But,
in terms of namesake, is how we'll put it. Namesake, it's the Leafs, and those two, fingers crossed, they do a good job.
Listen, you can always luck into it.
Sure,
totally.
Oh yeah, there's 2013 vibes. That team sucked. Made the playoffs.
Well, I'm just talking about that. You could maybe John Chayka's learned a lot. Maybe being out of the game has taught him a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to say, if we're going to cope like that, if Gillis had been hired, we'd be like, well, maybe being out of the game for a long time has taught him a lot.
What I don't like...
You have to be open to it.
I like being open to it. What I don't like is well, Steve, you're better at your age than you were at 26. I'm like, okay. So let's just hire the oldest person possible by that logic. Cliff, you're up.
Yeah.
The guy you mentioned, the actor, who I don't know of.
Never heard of him until this moment.
Looked into it a little bit. So his name's Todd Carroll, and Pelly trusts him for some reason.
Yeah, they met on the golf tour, and he's a former hockey player, and he's good friends.
So he has an elite prospects page. He coached, I have no clue what league this is, but in 2013-14, he coached a team called the Wendy's Avalanche.
Yeah.
Which is funny because John Chayka owns a bunch of Wendy's.
Yes.
His family does it.
It runs deep.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. And
we do have to go here soon.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, sorry. We've touched on it. It's not necessarily about trusting Chayka, although a lot of people don't do that. None of us trust Keith Pelly. Mm-hmm. None of us trust Keith Pelly. So you bring in Chayka. Well, very few people trust him. And also, I don't trust Keith Pelly. So there's a lot of distrust going on. You bring in the AGM from Dallas, is Scott White?
Mm-hmm. Scott White.
The Dallas Stars trusted you? I trust you. I like what they've done for a decade. I like what the Dallas Stars have done. So, all right, there's a little bit of trust. Julien Brisebois, Elliot Friedman reported today, is a guy they asked permission to speak to. I trust Julien Brisebois. Okay, great. All of a sudden, I trust you a little bit more, but now you've come down to this guy who does not have a good name within the sport. He doesn't. Being hired by a guy with an even worse name in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
It's hard. You have to forgive people for being skeptical.
Well, and they should be. And Leaf fans, let's not Jesse hit that extra.
I have more.
Let's not be copers here. Let's be skeptical. Be skeptical until they've proven otherwise. I think that's a completely fair position to take, given where the organization finds themselves.
Nah.
Well, I'll still be saying go Leafs go. Always.
Oh, but I'm going to be mad as hell.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.